And the very warmest of welcomes from beautiful Costa de Caparica, Portugal, home to QS competition for the last 2 weeks in Europe. And it's all culminating in a finals weekend with high stakes and a bit of surf in the water too. I'm Paul Evans, joining me this morning in the studio for the call once again. It's Bum Monday. Normally, mate, at this stage I'd ask you where your stoke level is, but I can tell you're pretty psyched just from the fact that you're outside my bedroom door this morning, just doing your vocal warm-ups and stretching.
Yeah, exactly. I was ready to go very early, and yeah, excitement levels through the roof. And as we came down the hill and we saw the little lines of swell coming into the Costa de Caparica, I knew we were on. And then I got over the hill and saw the waves. It looks like incredible day for waves, and following on from an incredible day of waves yesterday, Paul.
Yeah, it was amazing yesterday. Let's check some highlights of what went down. And we went from peaceful conditions in the morning. Surf ramped up. That swell that we've been talking about was true to its word. And it came to us in the afternoon. But early morning it was like this, kind of waist high and shiny.
Yeah, it was clean, it was small, there was some sort of fun waves. You can see the size of it. Decided to run 4 or so 8 eats just to get the day underway, and then we went on a bit of a hold while the conditions sort of improved. Ramsey became surfed well earlier, but then was a casualty later on in the day, and you get to see the waves starting to just improve. A bit more wind, but a bit more size, Paulie.
Yeah, it started to pick up around about lunchtime, just after lunch, and then we started to see a real serious kind of pick up in the size of our waves, and the scores went absolutely through the roof.
Yeah, it did. We saw some big aerials as the wind came up. Great Erwin Jorgen Kuzne was impressive. He won 2 heats, and both of them in the last sort of 5 minutes. He was under the pump and came together. He'll be in the first heat of the day very shortly. Yeah, the beach day came, and this man came in late. The last heat of the day was probably one of the best heats we've seen of the whole competition. Vasco Ribeiro was coming. That was Gaston Deliahay who came into the booth and shared his insights. Whoa, and there was some big rotations from Carly Vast, and just a series of 9-point rides. That was Ruben Vittoria. He clocked to 9.5, but it was this man here that came up, and Tiago Carrique ended up with almost a 10, a 9.97 in this same heat with Charlie Martin. This is the big turn of the day, Boomtown, and it was electrifying.
Could have been a 10, Ben. You were disappointed it wasn't.
2 judges didn't give a 10, whatever. And then Vasco Ribeiro just keeps on keeping on. We saw him this morning just trot down from the hotel in his wetsuit and slippers, and that's a sign of a man with confidence. And he absolutely tore this apart. So it was just a really solid day of waves as the sets just kept kind of improving. Each sort of set got a bit bigger and a bit better. There's a right-hand bank out here that was just reeling down like a point break, and this morning it's held right in there, so there's still swell. The bank looks good, the winds are great. Life is good, Paul, life is good.
It's another beautiful morning in Caparica. An early breakfast for early risers or surfers who like to check in early and check the waves. We're shortly going to check in exactly what we're doing for the day. Of course, we do have 2 days to finish off, but today looks like the better of the two. So Saturday in Lisbon, in the southwest of Portugal, and we're really buoyed with optimism with the fact that we got a nice swell in the water from that pickup yesterday. And good opportunity, hopefully, for all of our surfers today, as I guess things get kind of serious. High stakes, Ben, 3,000 points up for grabs.
Yeah, big points, some big prize money as well. The rating points all important as these surfers look to go to the Challenger Series events at the end of the year. And they're the events which you can actually qualify for the CT. So only 8 surfers from Europe, 8 male, I think it's 6 female will make that. So it's a cutthroat position they're all in. And yeah, a couple of heat wins from the round of 16, and you can probably book your passage and then book your train tickets to Estrella and Hossega for those Challenger Series events.
A lot up for grabs here. Of course, $8,000 first prize, along with those 3,000 QS points, and a good chance as well of winning your own weight in Estrella Galicia beer.
Big prize.
That's big, and it's fun. Of course, Estrella Galicia coming in to sponsor our QS leg in Portugal. It's great to have them on board, providing delicious refreshments, be enjoyed responsibly, socially distanced, etc.
Yes, yeah, and one of the Estrella Galicia ambassadors, Connie Zupa Zaretta, He's still knocking around. He's just sort of wedged in that 16 there or thereabouts, looking dangerous. And we've got some incredible surfers coming up. I mean, look, even the first heat, you can tell that it's going to set the tone. Callie Vast, Charlie Cuivon, Vicente Romero, and Jorgen Kuznets. So already sort of 4 of the form surfers across the European leg. And it just looks like from the get-go 4 heats, and then we're going to make a call on the women's. I'd assume we're going to run the quarters of the women's event, Paul, pretty sharpish. And just slowly pick the eyes of this, get the best tides to the finals, which hopefully, but we'll find out soon, might be at the end of the day.
Talk to me about the waves. You compared it to the Bells Bowl yesterday. There was the Trestles. There was the Trestles comparison.
Yeah, I think I threw in a main break as well at one stage. I think I may have been getting a little bit excited towards the end of the day there.
Have you had a little rethink? Or just tell me a little more about exactly
more what sunset, I would say. Okay. Yeah, rather than main break. I thought having it just last thing I went to bed. I went. I think I got that analogy wrong.
Right, let's go and find out exactly what's going on this morning. Let's get the call from our contest director, Hugo Pinheiro.
Yeah, everyone wants to know what's happening today.
So today we're going to start now with the round of 16, and then we go to women's quarterfinals. That's it. Waves are incredible, like long rides, perfect conditions right now in the morning. Hopefully it will be like this all day long.
Will we be trying to finish today, or is there a chance tomorrow?
Yes, still have a chance tomorrow. So the forecast it's not tricky as it was a few days ago. So we still have options to do tomorrow. So let's see how it happens today with the waves and the tide coming in, and then we will decide it because we want to choose the good conditions.
Slowly, right?
Take it slowly. That's it.
Okay, great. Thank you, and back to you guys.
Thank you, Joanna. Hugo Pinheiro is cool. It's cooler than a cucumber, actually. Oh. He makes cucumbers seem sort of flustered and a bit stressed.
Like hot cucumber. He's like, he's super dialed in. Nothing ruffles him. Doesn't mind the early starts. Doesn't mind the late starts. Just doesn't mind anything. He just makes the big decisions and makes them well.
So we're going to kick off with our men's round of 16. According to my calculations, 4 men in those heats. So 4 heats of 4. Let's have a look at the first one. Callie Vast of France, Charlie Cuivon of France, Vicente Romero from Spain, Jorgen Kuznets from France. Stacked Monday.
Yeah, some big performers there. Callie Vast made the semi-finals in Santa Cruz and has been really, really impressive all week. Charlie Cuivon, he's been showing a bit of flair. His forehand especially has been really, really powerful. I think Vicente Romero has won every single heat that he's competed in here in here in Caparica. On record saying loves these type of conditions, suits his surfing, and then of course the big gun, Jorgen Kuznets, who has sort of fought back from a poor performance last week and has put in 2 really impressive sort of come from behind wins over the last couple of heats. So yeah, there's some big names, and perfect to set the tone for what should be an incredible day.
Absolutely. Let's see how this one plays out with half an hour on the clock for all of our surfers to find themselves their 2 best scores, of course, out of 10. 5 judges on the panel. Randy wasn't happy. A couple of the judges just sort of tainted potential 10 for Caparica. 3 judges threw a 10. A couple were a little bit stingier. Went in with that awkward 9.5, that 9.7. Let's check out Jorgen as he'll rip one. And a nice couple of hits from him. Not loads of spray by his own standards, as he'll just keep kind of swinging down the line on a small and compact looking surfboard and on a quite shapely wall of water. Throwing a little layback at the end. It's nice from him, but never really put his back into it, so to speak. But a good way to open up.
Yeah, well, he's had some really poor starts over the last 2 heats, where he's even after 10 minutes or 12 minutes hadn't caught a wave, or if he had caught one, he'd fallen off. So although it wasn't a sort of groundbreaking wave, it was a good solid start, something that he hasn't had over the last couple of heats, so I think he'll be happy with that. Room of Callie Vast in his backhand, his right hand bank, just reeling off down the line. He's got it all, this kid. Doesn't mind going to the air, doesn't mind his backhand, whips it round. Bit hard to judge exactly where we're at the standards right now, because these are the first 2. I think Kuznets probably got the best of this exchange. 2 pretty good hacks, just kicked the tail out there. So both surfers are looking fluid, looking composed in the opening exchange.
Kuzne finishing off. He's got a long way down the beach for the long right-hander, but he's got a lot of room to move, actually, on this beach, Ben. Question for you, mate. What's the longest continuous beach in all of Portugal?
Santa Cruz.
That's incorrect. Would you like have another guess?
Costa de Caparica.
It is Costa de Caparica, right where we are right now.
30 kilometres-ish.
Situated on the peninsula.
20 miles, 30 k's, I'd say.
It is approximately 30 kilometres from the left margin of the Tagus River to the estuary of Albufeira. 30 k's of beach, beautiful sands.
Well, I did the soft sand run there yesterday, and it definitely felt like 30 k's by the time I got there.
Here's Kivron, live action. A good wave from Charlie as he'll open up with a nice couple of slices. It's all very smooth from him. He'll just kind of prod himself down the line and get another nice little slopey section show for him here. Still kind of S-ing at the moment. He's not really attacked thus far. And I think this wave energy is quite sort of spread out this morning. So you're just seeing a lot of ground covered. Oh, that was nice. And he'll be annoyed that he went down there. It's gone a long, long way. And right behind him, Cowley Vast with a much more sort of up and down entry into this wave. And slightly disappointed Charlie will paddle out right next to him and see him plug away and drill a nice succession of backhand whips.
I was about to say with Charlie, he actually has the potential to get underscored just because he's so fluid. He makes it look so easy. These turns aren't easy. I know he didn't have a whole lot of sort of steep face, but it was just so smooth. And then I was about to say that he just made that mistake on the end section, which makes it a lot easier to underscore that wave. And Boust at the back, more vertical turns from the outset, and then just finished it off on the inside. Sees his competitor and just gives him a little tape, a little tap there. So yeah, good surfing from Cowley Vast. Unfortunately for Charlie, he sort of did all the hard work. I really like the way he surfed this. It's not easy generating these smooth turns and that foam, but he just sort of ripped it all the way to shore, and then just when you got the money section, just came a cropper. Probably feeling a bit of the leg burn after this really long wave. It would have been an opening score he could have kept in his pocket just to build on, and just made a mistake at the end.
Ben, do you like surfing?
Love it.
Do you like fossils?
Yes.
Okay, well, anyone with those two interests...
Call me a surfing fossil.
Anyone with those two interests overlapping will love Costa de Caparica, of course. We do have the Costa de Caparica Fossil Cliff protected landscape, which starts just south of here. It's a prehistoric beach landscape near Terras da Costa that consists of intricately carved cliff and erosional deposits intersected by ravines and cliff tops covered in vegetation. Yeah. If you like the Jurassic, the Cretaceous period, if you like fossil hunting.
Favourite period.
Get yourself a little knapsack, throw some delicious lunch in there, maybe.
One of those little fossil sort of...
A little hammer.
Brush.
Yeah, a little hammer and a chisel, maybe.
I think they are protected. I think you should go hammering away down there, to be honest. But
maybe a bottle or two of chilled Estrella Galicia, and have yourself a great, great day out on the fossil coast. Maybe surf or body surf a few waves, do a bit of fossiling in between, check out, I don't know, a couple of billion years of geological time played out in the fossil record at beautiful Costa de Caparica, which happens to be Portugal's longest beach.
All that sounds incredibly appealing. Incredibly appealing.
More great facts all about this lovely region of Caparica coming at you throughout the day. Yes, Ben.
Australia's most recent big fossil finds have all been down
in Costa de Caparica.
No, down on the Bells and Winky coast, and it's all been surfers that have found them because they're the ones scrambling around rocks and eddies, and obviously those cliffs hiding all sorts of millions of years of history. And so surfers, get your fossil hunting gear on and get involved.
Kuzne takes out his little rock hammer and his chisel and has a little look at a strata in front of him, but decides that in fact that wave will sort of disappear much in the same way as some sorts of vegetational material laid down in sediments can sometimes just be removed from the fossil record by decomposition. And we will have 23 minutes gone on the clock. Kuzne gets a 6.33 for his opening ride. He'll have a backup to come. And nice energy in the water, but there's a measured pace to proceedings, Ben.
Yeah, Cali Vast getting a few sort of scores in, wanting a one score of his. Kuzne got a 6.33 for that first wave of his. So, as I said, you'll be happy with that. A much better start to proceedings than he's had before, and an early score. It's only Vicente Romero that is yet to get his round of 16 heat underway. The surfer from Barcelona, but he travels around. Sort of loves the Canaries. Spends a bit of time down here as well. So Romero's dangerous, but he's behind the 8 ball at the moment. It hasn't caught a wave. And he's, with 8 minutes gone, that'll start to play in his mind. As you see live action here, and that's Romero, that man I was talking about. A nice woolly wave here, opening up in front of him, and a big click off the top. Comes around, drives around the section. Wow, this is a really nice wave that Vicente has hooked into here. He waited for it. It just keeps giving and giving. This sandbank looks incredible. Perfect sort of for the swell. And if he finishes off here, he has got an incredible start to the heat. He's been doing that pretty much all event, just waiting his time and getting the best waves and absolutely ripping them. Paul, look at this.
Yeah, wow. What an opening ride for Vicentino.
He almost went the full 30-kilometre length of the beach on this.
Almost went the whole distance of Portugal's longest continuous beach. But yeah, great energy from him. He's got a sharp blade, and he's looked very quietly confident throughout the week here. As we've seen glimpses of him from a bit of free surfing and also in the heats that he surfed. And he's looked so dialed in with everything. Nice rhythm to this, and that's really well done to get the finish as well. That is going to be a great number.
Kuzne, meanwhile, at the back. It's the one he may have just gave up on here. I know this sort of got a little section in front of him. His points, this sandbank just reeling down. He hasn't been able to get any bit of speed. Now he starts to pump. He's eyeing off a section. You can see him wiggle. An S-turn. Legs are burning by now because that wave just didn't really deliver any of the sections that he was hoping. It was definitely Romero who's got looked like the best wave of the heat so far. Although Cali Vast a 7.33 for those backhand attacks. So great start from that score from Romero, but really dark horse in this event. Did well the last time we were here in 2019. Loves the waves here. It's a light surfer, he says, and these waves just lacking a little bit of power, but he can generate his own speed through his technique and his timing, and he'll be happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Great stuff from Vicente Romero. And that's going to be a big number. He waited patiently for that, so a lot of waves ridden by his adversaries in this one. Just kind of stuck to his own game plan of waiting for a bit of quality to come through, which he found. Cali Vast making good early running with that 7.33, the multiple backhand hits. It's going to be a number of that order, or maybe slightly better coming for Vicente Romero. Comes in as a 7.27, so already underway. Just comes in slightly under in the end. And the Cowley's high score, a great way to open up. 7.27, Ben.
Yeah, I think it was a long wave with many sections, but I think didn't have quite the sort of dynamism of Vast's surfing. He was sort of getting vertical and spinning the tail out. I think Romero may have been punished just slightly for his lack of aggression on that wave, but still a great start, a 7.27 off the bat. Back out there with time to go, so yeah, he'll be definitely stoked with his current situation.
Ben, do you like surfing?
Love it.
Do you love local folklore and history?
Oh, it's probably what, apart from surfing, is what gets me out of bed in the morning.
Would you like to know where the name Caparica derives according to local legend?
Love to.
We're going to find...
I've only said it about 14 million times this week.
We'll find out in a sec after we watch Charlie Quivron ripping down the line with some nice pace. That's good. Nice jam on the rail. It's sharp and it's incisive from Quivron. And he's still just bending down nice and low on a wall that's just cooperative and offers him up enough room to swing around. And he'll get a little soft through here and he'll just look to fire up and get a finish this time. which he gets done. So good stuff from Charlie.
That was a very well surfed wave. Yeah, no, how did the name derive Caparica? This wave, I think it's brilliantly surfed from start to finish. It's a bit of a aggressive first turn. That's a big swooping carve. He's got these fine foam climbs down pat where he comes out with speed. Another really lovely technical roundhouse. A few more. It's a little bit fat through this section. Here he goes, starting to get a bit more of a sort of steeper wall, and then builds up. Unlike last time, he didn't get the finish. This time he did, and that is a great, excellently surfed wave for my liking.
Here's a bomb. It looks like we've got up and right of Vicente Romero on a great looking wave.
This point break.
Just shrouding down. It does look like a right-hand point right now, with just multiple surfers going through their maneuvers. This is a really cool shot, as we see behind him Cowley Vast. Vicente Romero, he's in the foreground. Vast is in the background. Romero will get a finish in there, will he? As we see Vast bringing this one down in his face. He's going to drill a couple of turns in here and say, how'd you like them apples? As he finishes off in almost an identical spot. What an exchange.
Yeah, incredible. Backside, frontside duel. Shades of Ockie and Tom Curran at Bells in 86. As we see Vast, I think he got the better of the exchange. He was just a bit more radical. Had a bit of foam on the face that came from Vincente's wave, but it didn't matter because he just started driving through the sections. His technique is so good. Sprays his competitor just because he can. And then back foot lays down and just finishes on the sand. So another great surfing, and he had to back up 7.33. Romero, his wave choice has been incredible, as you can see. Just a little bit open face. We saw the duel, back to back. It was just Vicente was a bit more lateral. Vast a bit more up and down. I don't think he's going to deem that as completed. So Romero, Vast going back to back. I think Vast may have just got the better of that one.
Yeah, well, the toponomy Caparica, Ben, developed from a legend about an old woman who lived between Almeida and the ocean over cliffs of Sul de Tejo. The old woman, thin and frail, wore a multicoloured patchwork cape to protect herself from the cold. Many assumed she was a witch and a miser, which seems harsh, quite judgmental. It was a different time. Who guarded a fortune, but who nevertheless never missed mass, travelling long distances between mountains and valleys, whilst huddling on the side roads under her cape. They couldn't find the old lady. One day they found her in her humble cabana, shrouded in the cape. She'd passed on. And there's a letter for the king. The king was surprised by the old woman's request to have him build a church for the local people of her village. The king immediately ordered the cape to be destroyed, but was astonished to see gold coins falling from the cape. With the money, he fulfilled the woman's request from the rich bounty. There, the name Caparica developed for Kappa, cape, and Rica, rich, became associated with the region. Great chat.
Wow. Yeah, she what a life she led. I mean, just sort of scaling the fossilised cliffs in a gold plated cape, making mass every Sunday.
Ben, do you think if you lived in another era, you would be branded as a miser?
No.
Okay.
A lot of things, but miserliness is not something I would be levelled at.
You'd be accused of witchcraft, maybe?
Yeah. I get the witchcraft thing. I make magic happen, Paul. I mean, it astounds people. People can't understand it. People don't. If they can't explain it, then they can't understand it, and then you get the witchcraft label. Yeah, I can see that, but I'm not going to take the miserly. I've had a few sort of nice coloured coats in my time.
Yep.
So yeah, I feel empathy for the woman for sure.
All right, we've just got a score to come in for Cowley Vast before we get caught up. Kivron dropped a 5.73. Cowley Vast numbers in 8.5 for him. 8.5 into the excellent range, and he's in control in this one. The lone Goofy just offering a point of difference, finding the best ways, ripping them apart. Under 13 remaining on the clock. Vast and Romero, you're 1-2 at the moment. Can Kivrat and Kuzene come back? Find out right after this quick commercial break.
Almada, território de muitos.
The ocean gives me so much. It makes me who I am. I sign to treat the ocean with the respect that it deserves and do my part.
Welcome back to beautiful Costa de Caparica. Have a look at this morning as breakfast time befalls the city of Lisbon and its beautiful surrounds, which include, of course, the 30 kilometres of sandy beaches of Costa de Caparica. That's where we are this morning, broadcasting to you live from QS competition, which has a good chance of concluding today. We do have tomorrow as well, as we see Ruben Vittoria getting ready in his equipment, that Pukas blade and Axel Lorentz shape, getting it all waxed up, getting ready to do battle.
Glimpse of his footwear there. We had some good tweets about surfing footwear yesterday. I think he had some interesting kind of slippers on then. But yeah, he has been one of the form surfers. It definitely was yesterday, posting some huge numbers. So yeah, looking forward to seeing him. He's been Ruben. His backhand's been his weapon. Might have to go to the forehand. His right-handers at the moment seem to go to kind of break for the surfers. The left's a little bit shorter and fatter. The right's running down the bank for quite some time. So, yep, all looking pretty nice here. Nice, clean conditions. We've got offshore breeze. We've got a bit of swell. So a bit of gunmetal grey kind of skies. But one thing we know over the course of the day, that sun will start to blaze down and light up the golden beaches of Caparica. Basically, we're all set up for an incredible day of action.
Yeah, we are in live action right now as your heat leader has made good early running in this. Cowley Vast, he'll kick out though, as that section will just drill away down the line of our sandbar, which is doing a pretty good impression of a point break this morning. Loads of good right-handers on offer at the current stage of the tides, kind of what we saw last night. Sort of similar time, actually. Beautiful evening golden light we had last night as well. It was some epic evening down at the beach, Ben. We didn't want to leave.
No, it was gorgeous down there. Had a lovely pizza. Had a chat. Had some laughs. And yeah, watched the swell just sort of rolling through. The biggest we've probably seen since we've been here. Biggest and cleanest anyway. Yeah, it was fantastic. All those little beach bars, restaurants, sushi places, pizza, everything you can think of is all just lined that long stretch of beach. As we see a set come in from the drone angle, looks like Romero's got a hold of it.
Yep, he's up and he'll go for an unconvincing aerial attempt over a section. I'll just run away from him. Ben, do you like surfing?
Yep.
Do you love King John VI of Portugal?
It's my favourite of the Johns, definitely.
Let's revisit his mythology in a sec while we live very much in the present and see Cowley Vast shrouping down. A little wide push-up. It's not better than 7.33. It won't help his cause. That's his low score right now. And it is a softer wave. He's just going to flick this a couple of times into a corner. But I don't think it's going to trouble our judges, particularly in terms of going into his top two. He's whipping it around. Ben, did you know that in 1824, King John VI of Portugal ate a delicious seafood stew? And for that reason, the royal coat of arms are on the fountain here at Caparica. So good was that seafood stew.
It was a good seafood stew. Yeah, every time you had a really good plate of food, you got a fountain.
He put the royal coat of arms, essentially. It's like giving it the royal charter.
Good stew. I love the seafood around these parts.
Similarly, the site was a waypoint on journeys involving Queen Maria II of Portugal and King Pedro V of Portugal and his royal consort, who travelled through the Costa de Caparica on trips. But they love the seafood, they love the 30 k's of beaches, and I'd probably say they'd like to get up early, listen to the bird song as well. There's some really good birding around here.
Just the thing about consorts, just always up for a good time, really.
So we are in our finals weekend. Real good chance of finals day running, though we can't confirm that yet. We're just going to have to kind of see what happens with the tide, but looks like we've got plenty of swell out in the water with a bit more measured pace to it as well this morning. Swell filled in last night. It's been in for about, well, maybe 12 or 18 hours now. We've had this increased swell. Have we had any increases on the scoreboard? Nothing really to get you too excited. It's more or less as we were, as you see on your screen. That's our Situ, Vast, Romero. You won 2. Cousinet, first priority, but finds himself in 4th place, needing that 5.42.
Yeah. Cousinet's the one. He had that sort of good start. That was in the first couple of seconds of the heat, and he's yet to come back with a score. And he needs to come back. He's got 6.5 minutes to do that. Not a big requirement. Only a 5.42, which for a man of his stature is gettable. But he's just starting to run out of time. The last couple of heats in the last 5 minutes, he's absolutely blazed it, but we'll see how he goes here.
Support squad, hoods only this morning. That was the uniform text. If you're going to be in a support squad, it's hoods up. And everyone looking determined and rallying around. Our man Ruben Vittoria's Marco Mignot. He's in the red. He's looking kind of zen-like as he sits there in a demi-lotus and just surveys a nice fresh swell on a shapely sandbar at Costa de Caparica. Under 6 minutes to go in this. Things remain unchanged. In terms of our score, Cousinet will need to make a move soon down here. He only needs a 5.42. He's going to hope to go much better than that. Rode a couple of waves early on, and he's been pretty quiet in this one. There's Jorgen. He will really want to pick up the momentum he had before QS and sort of global professional surfing and sport in general took a prolonged hiatus, because back in the sort of late 20-teens, he was on fire on the QS, and he'll want to just bring that back again. And it's important that he gets a good result here. We're very much expecting to see him in the Challenger Series in the autumn.
Yeah.
I want to make sure of that with a good result in Costa de Caparica.
Yeah, he'll take 3 of his best results from last year to those, but he'll want to put something on the scoreboard in this event. A round of 16 for him is not exactly what he wants. The recap, Romero got this really long wave. This went forever. He was just carving and S-turning, and had a great wave. Just thought he could have probably put it a little bit more on edge. I think it's his first wave, just feeling it out. Got a high 7.27 for this, so great score. I think there's left a few points on it, but wow, great surfing nonetheless from Vincente. He clicks it down. And this is the exchange here. Had Quiver on the inside, Vouse on the outside. Vouse just getting a bit more sort of waves with steeper face somehow, and just generating some more turns, more vertical turns, and a bit more sort of power. I think he finished this one off really well as well. Got some inside, starts to fire up. Those 3 slashes where the points came from, another one, and then a finish. So those last 4 turns were what elevated it up into the excellent range, and then he backed it up. So it's been really impressive, this little past fortnight. He's done the time as well. Came to Santa Cruz, and he spent a week at Santa Cruz before the first event, so they gave up probably surfing some 8 to 10 foot chopu perfection to hit the beach breaks and just practice, and he came down here early as well. So he's one of those guys that lives and breathes competition, and right now he's got a really convincing lead.
8.5 for that long right with some beautiful turns, and Cowley Vast looking very good value at the moment for his first place. 3 on the clock. A beautiful sort of pastel suggestion to the sky here. as we have some nice light hitting our beach at breakfast time in Portugal. During the recap, this is Vicente Romero looking to improve on his second place.
Yeah, so fanging down the line. Good board speed. His wave selection is always impeccable. And then he's just coming down. He wants to go a bit bigger on the inside if he can. Floater, rock and roll, and a bit of a tap. So this wave just keeps on giving. My goodness. How many turns can one man do? And he knocks it on the head there. So another great backup. That's going to make Kuzna's job a lot more difficult. As we know, that man, Goni Zubizarreta, has been on that board the whole week. That wide swallowtail. And certainly a lot of the smaller conditions, I think, in this, as the swell's increasing, it's going to let him open up a bit more.
I just hope we don't overshadow the CT event in Mexico on the right sand points with this sort of stuff. I don't want it to get jealous down there, but this place is doing a very good impression of one of those running right points.
Yeah, it's I mean, J-Bay, it's a classic analogy. I'm not going to make it, but you know, this is a epic sandbank. That last wave of Vicente Romero, he was just S-turning for, you know, probably a good 150 yards. Good section, and then that little end section that sort of lights up and goes a bit quicker. So, yeah, the bank looks amazing. And once again, Hugo has nailed the call, the contest director. As he said, I just had to check the forecast, knowing that he's already called it. But yeah, tomorrow is not looking as small as we thought. It could be sort of similar to today, potentially. So we've got a bit of backup, depending on what happens today. We're going to get all the way through to the quarterfinals, and then just put the quarterfinals or the semis and finals on standby to see where we're at. But as of the moment, big scores coming in, and the calls have been a great one. Vicente backs up his 7.27 with a 7.03. That means Kuzne now needs an 8-point ride with 45 seconds on the clock. It's never been anywhere near that throughout the course.
My question, Ben, for you is, why wasn't jogging on that wave? He had priority, had a lot of time. How did he not get that wave?
Yeah, I don't know. I think Vincente's just hanging a bit wider. I think he's just read the bank a bit better. Although Kuzne did get a second one down there at 5.07, so maybe that just took him out of that equation.
Sure.
Got the first wave of the set, didn't work out. Vicente got the second, and it just walled from, forever. So little mistakes, marginal errors, and it looks like with a sort of going flat.
Clock's going to tick down here into the final 10 seconds, and this Vast Romero leading this one with some authority. Kuzine and Quivrant, relatively speaking, they're struggling. Here's a paddle last gasp from Quivrant. Not sure if this is going to count. He needs a big number, 8.57. We'll just stick with it anyway. But you can already see this wave a little soft from the entry. And it will just run semi-reluctantly down our sandbar here, but no real momentum to it. Quivrant will just continue to sort of shroud down the line. It's not going to be the excellent score that he needs, and he'll bring it in.
Still, I've been impressed with the way he serves. He's got such a great style, Charlie. Obviously, that doesn't get you points, but yeah, really impressed with the way he serves. He looks great.
There's the results. Vast Romero 1-2. Kuzine and Quivrant will bow out. Bit of an upset there for Jorgan going out in the round of 16. We're going to go to a commercial break. We've got more live surfing coming at either way. So pump in, and we look forward to the pleasure of your company again right after this break.
Prepara os teus sentidos, porque vais despertar. Vais ser o primeiro a ouvir, o primeiro a olhar e a tocar. Tu vais ser o primeiro a inspirar e a provar esta nova realidade antes de todos. Agora, primeiro. 5G. Vais sentir.
Can I change my answer?
I wish we could take that one back.
Trestles is the perfect place.
Fair point, but I'm going to disagree. It's not a real power surfing wave.
I'm going to throw your power out the window. Watch the hottest debate in surfing only on worldsurfleague.com.
And it's a very warm welcome back to a beautiful morning as the sun attempts to poke through from Portuguese hinterlands behind us. We look out to the southwest and see a fresh swell that filled in yesterday afternoon, still delivering long, sweetly tapering lines. A great opportunity for our surfers already. Excellent scores coming in our very first heat. And they're just going to continue to be stacked. Myself, Paul Evans, joined by Ben Mundy for the call, watching the surfing right there off Gatien de la Haye. He's one of 4 surfers currently out in the water. The others with him are Marco Mignot, Ruben Vittoria and Goni Zubizarreta. That's our foursome out this morning. Good performance from Marco yesterday. Ruben Vittoria as well. Goni was fired up. Ben, this looks like an exciting clash.
Yeah, well, that's the point. By the time you get to this sort of round of 16, all these surfers have already posted up some big performances to get here. So they're all in form. Vittoria went absolutely ham on his backhand yesterday. De la Haye too was quietly impressive. I think Zubizarreta actually, Goni hasn't actually really hit the straps that he's capable of. He's just been sort of really digging out results in those early heats. Just sort of manufacturing scores almost. But I think if he gets some open face and some power to work with, he'll be really dangerous. So yeah, all the surfers just by dint of coming this far are in form. And although they were all sort of getting their scores on their backhand yesterday, we'll look to see what they've got on these roping right-handers, what they can do on their forehand.
Yeah, definitely. This right-hander is just setting up sweetly. And what a different sort of prospect from yesterday. It was quick wiggles, kind of taken off on the wrong side of the peak, so you could kind of surf across the peak and hit the little closeout section. Today it's all kind of drawn out lines and nice rail arcs down. And beautiful sloping, tapering walls. It's been really enjoyable to watch the opening heat go down. I'm sure we're in for more of the same fare right now. I think I tied around about that low mark. And we're going to go down and hear from a man who's shone once again. It's Cowley Vast up early and at him. He's down with Joanna.
Up early, yeah. You must have had a really good night's sleep for those scores. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. There is perfect waves. It's similar than the first day when I came here the last Monday. So yeah, there's a long ride and perfect conditions.
You've been showing a lot of consistency going into the quarters. What's the strategy next?
Strategy, the same thing. Just get the good ones because there's not many good waves. So in 30 minutes, there's probably like 2 or 3 waves. So you must be ready for the perfect one. And same thing. Just stay focused for the rest. And
You're ready for battle.
Yeah, ready for battle.
Thank you. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Joanna, and a great job, Cowley Vast. Ben, I'd like to join some of your tactical expertise. How do you get the good ones? I mean, it sounds easy. How do you get the good ones, Ben?
How do I get them?
How does one get a good one, so to speak?
Yeah, well, one must identify the set waves that are the best. So often you'll try and work out if there's 3 or 4 waves in a set. Sometimes the first wave is often the best, depending on the condition or the bank or the point. I know, I keep going back to Bell's, hold that thought, but at Bell's often it's the first wave rather than the second wave of the set that tends to be the best. So there's that. And there's also it's just getting the best one, basically.
Mignot is going fast and swinging, and he'll crack the lip. Nicely done from him. He will keep kind of a slight amount of sort of tension through the upper body and a stiffness through the shoulders as he uses that to generate speed. He generates it well, and then he gets nice and loose, and he throws in a little drifty finner at the end, gets a reverse done on the white water, and he'll go complete. So lots of stuff to admire in an opening wave for Marco.
Yeah, there's a couple of turns here that are really of interest as he finds his way down the line. just finding some cutbacks. I think there's this turn here. Just a little bit of fin release, a bit of drift. And then he starts warming up. It's a lot of the same turns, but then goes here and shows a bit of variety. Just does a little pop and lands it. So, yeah, a really strong start. Victoria, meanwhile, this is his first wave.
Ooh.
He's looking zappy, isn't he? Just looking a bit faster than his opponents. Smaller wave, but that Pukas epoxy just looks light and fast. He got a 6.17 for this and just seems really keen to make some stuff happen. His transitions between turns are incredible. Takes me back to the heady Tenerife days where we first laid eyes on Ruben Vittoria as he went all the way and won that.
It's never really been the same since, has it, for you?
PRV and post-RV for me. It's like, I remember the time I first saw him surf. I was like, whoa, what do we got here? Who's this dude? And he's just been improving ever since, really.
So just going back to making sure you get the good ones, the classic strategy. How do you stop the other ones from getting the good ones?
Well, yeah. Well,
how does that work, Ben?
If you get the good ones, then by virtue, the other ways left behind aren't as good as the good ones. So that does that. You've got to get priority at the right time. I mean,
Sorry, what's this priority you speak of?
Well, it's basically the fundamental building block on which professional surfing is built on, I would say.
It's only the oxygen of the sport.
Imagine a beating heart of professional surfing, and that is what priority is.
Spelt with a P, ends in a Y.
And but that's also an inexact science. I mean, how do you get the right priority at the right time? It's a matter of, you've had your free surfs, but sometimes you're in tune with the ocean, sometimes you're not. The ocean cannot be contained, cannot be predicted. But yeah, you just it's all about just finding the good ones, Paul.
Yeah, it does. I've heard a lot of that, and it does sound easy, but I'd just like to know more.
All those coaches, all those men in black hoodies all around the world, all those coaches with a little bit of videos, and basically their main sort of strategy to their guys is just get the good ones.
Someone who certainly found some good ones and tore them apart is that man Vicente Romero, and he's standing by down the beach with Joanna.
That's right. You made it to quarterfinals. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm good. The waves are good now. I saw the last heat yesterday and the waves were pumping. And yeah, we got waves, so I could have 2 scores. I'm super tired. By yesterday, I surfed 2 heats since the morning to the afternoon. And the wave's super long. The ride's like a point break.
They've improved a lot, huh?
Yeah, and yeah, the waves are pumping now. Let's go for the quarterfinals.
You're excited?
Yes.
Yeah, well, good luck in the next round in quarterfinals. And back to you guys.
Live action, Minho. He'll go a long way around the house. He sort of slid down the banister and then did a nice little wheelie round on the sofa, covering lots of distance, as we see Zubi Zarata for the first time come to life in the green. He's got a soft wave in, not a great one. And that's a little bit unsightly from Goniz. He just tries to get an inside, which he will do using his skills. And he'll just get a little redirect inside, but not a great way. Just want to get something on the board. Let's see what he got done out the back, Ben.
Yeah, first turn.
Ooh.
Oh, nice. No wonder he was trying to finish it off. Oh, it's just classic Super Zaretta. Wide arm cut back, and then unfortunately for him, just went flat here. We saw the end of it, so he did finish off, but that first turn was the money turn. See how Romero said he was super excited. Sort of got that, I think, that classic kind of swan thing, isn't it, or a duck, where like on the top, serenely sort of being calm and still, but underneath, paddling furiously with his legs. As you see, he was just arcing and turning all over this, but it just didn't quite provide any steep wall, so he's kicked out. And
don't forget, great analogy, don't forget swans can be vicious as well.
Gotcha.
When swans attack.
Especially when they're protecting their young.
Yeah, and I think that's Romero. He's great to look at. He's got some nice plumage. You'd like to feed him if he looked hungry, maybe on a cold winter's day. However, he's dangerous when provoked.
Sure. Beneath the elegance lies a vicious streak that you did not mess with.
Mm-hmm.
Protected by the Queen in the UK. Is that that's the story about swans? Can't kill a swan upon...
Yeah, well, owned rather than protected, yeah, along with all the oak trees.
Owned.
All the oak trees and all of the swans are property of the Crown. You like that, don't you, Ben?
Yeah, what I like is sort of one person owning lots of land. I think that's the way that the future should be, because that's fair and equitable.
All right, 18 on the clock, and we will see our scoreboard really not offering up much in the way of insights, because we've got a lot of surfers with just one wave so far. It is a lead from Mignot early on, but we're all caught up with scores. Well, wait till we get some more surfing, till we get into situations and Andy's Republican stance, as we see Marco Mignot looking pretty regal already early on this morning, with some nice turns done. Ruben Vittoria with the highest in this encounter so far, with a 6.17. And that's the way this one's setting up. It's our second heat of the morning, potentially a massive day. We've got our official sort of papers sent in by the powers that be.
Hand-delivered by the...
fresh from
Gunning's printer.
A laser inkjet desktop printer. The ink levels look fine for now. It's very, very legible and concise.
Yeah, well, every night Gunning just goes in there with his special printing kit and just tunes it all up, like tightens the screws, greases the wheels.
He takes it apart and puts it back together again.
Every afternoon.
All right, let's stick with Zubi Zareta before we read from this crisp piece of paper offering us some information as to how exactly the day's going down. We'll see a paddle here. Gatien De La Haye, he's been quiet, and he'll look to sort of stretch into one here, as he uses that tall, sort of stringy physique to put himself in a nice position. Back on a wave, and he'll kind of flap one off the top, and then he'll get one with some arms levering around. So meanwhile, behind him, he goes Zubi Zareta, and he has a little sort of drill down the line, which ultimately proves unsuccessful. Men's round of 16, heats 1 to 4, they're happening. Women's quarterfinals, happening too. Men's QFs, yes, they're on. Then we're on standby, Ben, for the semis and finals. That's the Estrella de Galicia Caparica Surf Fest for Saturday. How do you like Gatien De La Haye's work?
Yeah, had to work hard for this. He said just a little bit of open face, not a lot of steep face, so he's had to use his arm to propel down, but he's got a nice turn in at the end. This is pretty solid. Yeah, like his youthness, like his freshness. His backhand has been his weapon over the last few days, but he switched it up. And, well, he needed something. He just needed to get on the board. He had 10 minutes. He hadn't registered anything of note. His opponents haven't been able to capitalise massively. Yeah, but he needed something. Don't think it's going to be a huge score, but he's back in it at least. What if I was to plant an oak tree in my own garden and watch it grow? Would the Queen still own it?
Yep.
It's not an incentive to plant oak trees, is it?
Well, I mean,
it is.
Yeah, there's plenty of incentive to plant them, just for all the sort of the diversity of wildlife they support. They're carbon capturing.
Anyway, you know what I think?
How beautiful they are.
No one can own a tree. Trees own us, basically. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, Queen. Bit of a lull here. We're just looking at these tides, just the water filling up. We've got to run these for 4 heats, I suppose, and we'll have a look at the women's. But yeah, the chance, we've got the opportunity potentially to finish today if all the planets align. We've got back up tomorrow. If not, we've got timers on our side as the song goes, and I think we'll be looking potentially getting through the women's quarterfinals. Some big matchups there, Paul. Got the women's coming up straight after this. And those women set out yesterday. They'll be frothing at the bit to get... They've been surfing some of the small conditions during the week. They'll be frothing to get apart some of these big, juicy, roping, long right-handers. You can imagine them just down on the beach now, sussing the conditions, getting pretty excited.
Vittoria swings the arms, and he sort of slightly prematurely just popped his little head up, and the wave won't let him on. So we'll just have to let that one go underneath him. He wanted it. The wave didn't want him. It's unrequited love. We're going to get a quick commercial break. We're going to be back with more live action. The Estrella Galicia
Costa de Caparica Surf Fest. Finals day maybe, certainly a big day of competition. We'll be back with more right after the break.
Prepara os teus sentidos, porque vais despertar. Vais ser o primeiro a ouvir, o primeiro a olhar e a tocar. Tu vais ser o primeiro a inspirar e a provar esta nova realidade antes de todos. Agora, primeiro. 5G, vais sentir.
Can I change my answer?
And I wish we could take that one back.
Trestles is the perfect place.
Fair point, but I'm going to disagree. It's not a real power surfing wave.
I'm going to throw your power out the window. Watch the hottest debate in surfing only on worldsurfleague.com.
Welcome back to a beautiful morning in Costa de Caparica for the Estrella Galicia Surf Fest. It's live action from the beach with still plenty of swell in the water, but some extended lulls in this one. And a little bit of a paucity in action, although we did get some during the break. Let's get caught up with it, Ben.
Yeah, Mignot, that strapping young surfer, grown up in Mexico, French heritage, driving down the line. Cameraman almost struggling to keep up with him, such as his pace. He's got some speed. He might go big here if he can. Sort of didn't, had to still get back to the power source. He's worked a lot for this turn, finishes it off strong. He was in the lead. He had a 5, and then Zubizarreta, the Spaniard, just a really sort of funny foam slide there, but now he starts to wind up, and here he goes. That's a juicy section. That's what he wants more of, and then hits it hard. Is he going to pull out of that? And he does, so nice surfing from the veteran. Got some tweets, Paul. I've got Robin here from Stockholm, and she's saying that she's loving the bird chat. She said she liked the Vicente Romero swan analogy, and she was asking, in this heat, would Paul assign potential a species of bird to each surfer?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, sure. Good question, by the way.
Thanks, Robin. I think Zubizarreta might be your opening gambit. What type of bird would you think he might be?
I'm going to have Goni down as a cheeky magpie.
Good, yeah.
Like shiny stuff.
Yeah, collects things.
Yeah, he collects
got
things.
the big rings. Got the silver rings on.
His dad makes those rings.
Right, yeah, there you go. That makes sense.
And he does have those cool. Yeah, he does have those cool. So he likes shiny stuff, and he's a very intelligent bird. He's a great plumage. He's actually rocking the black and white colorway currently. So yeah, I'm going to have him as a cheeky magpie.
Very good, Mignot.
Let's have a look at a set stack up here. As we see Marco Mignot in the red. He has a little fade left and decides that's not the wave he wants. He'll let that go. We do have a few softer ones. Now, we're 2 hours off the low tide on the incoming. There's just a bit of a gap in terms of where we are on the bank. And we've seen a few of those waves go a little bit soft in this one. I'm going to go for, guessing it's going to be a little egret. You know, with the stilty legs.
Yep.
Nice white plumage.
Yep.
When they're breeding, they have...
From the warmer climes?
No, you get them all over. Yeah, you get them all over Northern Europe. As we see two great friends, Carolina Mendez. Carolina Kemp, two good buddies. Always
acting cool in front of the cameras.
Hanging at the contest, preparing, checking out the waves. Two great surfers, both of them. We've lost Camilla Kemp from competition. Carolina Mendez still going, still ripping.
Victoria, Sparrowhawk, too aggressive.
I don't mind the Sparrowhawk, actually. Their speciality is flying between the trees. So they're one of the few kind of raptors from that kind of falcon family that are really good in the woods.
Yeah,
so at close quarters.
Up in the Basque Country, sort of wooded hills behind there.
Yeah, yep.
just leaving you with Mignot for the bird assignment.
Yeah, I'm going to go for, let's say, a peregrine falcon.
Ooh. The smallest of the falcons.
Fastest creature in the universe. Okay, can go 230 kilometers an hour in a descent, which is called a stoop with peregrine falcons. But she obviously knew that.
Yeah, we all know what a stoop is.
Yeah, but the falcon is only the female bird, by the way. A male falcon is called a tercel. Do you know that?
I did not know that. I did know there's a Toyota Tercel. I was unaware it was named after a male falcon. There's a Ford Falcon, which I understood was now a female member of the car species. It's all coming together.
Great bird chat, great surf chat. We're enjoying ourselves at Costa de Caparica. This has been a slow heat, though. It has been pretty slow. The best of it has been made by Goni Zubizarreta, the cheeky magpie, who's got himself a 5.7 and a 4.6. Still waiting for a second score of Ruben Vittoria, the sparrow hawk. Great in the woods. What they'll do, when they catch their prey, they won't eat it on spot. They'll fly off and they'll kind of rip the feathers off the carcass and eat it somewhere else. Let's check the recap, see how it's gone down. It's Marco Mignot early doors, getting sparky.
Yeah, really strong, powerful surfer from the young Frenchman, driving down the line. He's had to work for his turns. Haven't really just been sort of simple, one or easy transitions. He had to sort of find the power and find the pace of the wave. He's done that pretty well. And got a 5-point ride, I think, for this one, his best wave so far. Finished it well with a little spinner. Vittoria, strong start, but hasn't been able to back up his 6.17. He's still right in the mix. He just needs to get a wave like this, and he could well be in the lead. Sparky and sharp between turns. Smaller wave, but he made it work. Bang. Black and whites all over that one too. But it was just, I think, one of his first turn here. This is probably one of his best turns. Yes, from Goni. He's fought hard. His conditions suiting his style a little bit more. Likes an open right-hander. He's grown up here now in Portugal, up there in Ericeira. So handy in the points, and he's just battling away. Look how much he wants it, the veteran. No chance of him letting up. Every year the QH, you think, has he lost his spark? Has he lost his speed? And the answer just continues to be no. Chirping away on this. One of the great mimics as well. And he just comes around and drives it again and hits it hard. So great surfing from Goni. He's just positive attitude, good frame of mind, and he'll be stoked if he can get up towards those. I mean, obviously into the quarterfinals if it stays as is. And once you're in the quarterfinals, well, you're eyeing off a win, right?
Yeah, absolutely. All of our surfers left in competition only really thinking about one finish, and that's going all the way, getting those 3,000 QS points, and the 8 grizzle as well. Let's check out Gassian ripping his way down a long wave here, Ben. This is a replay.
Oh, that last turn was strong. The spray that jammed off the top. Goni also getting a nice one here. Just adjust his front foot as he really seeks to drive down the line. That trademark where he just puts his trailing hand in the water as he cuts back around to the foam, then drives down the line. Ah, and a bit of a variety. Can he finish? And he can't. You can see the frustration. He'd like to finish that one. He wanted to add something, a bit of spark, something different. I understood the decision. It was just the execution that let him down there at the end.
I feel like the waves have changed a bit, Ben. Even since our opener this morning, seems a bit softer out there and a lot of gaps between the sections now.
Yeah.
Fair assessment?
I think so. Yeah, definitely. I think they're breaking further out, sort of roping on the outside sort of bank almost. They're just moving a bit in, and there's that bit of dead water in the middle, which you have to deal with. It's hard to make that dead water look good, you know, not to pump or not to lose all your speed. So that's something you have to deal with. We saw that man there yesterday, Tiago Carrick, deal with the lefts, took to the air, and that's some good jumping there. Could have got a bit more height, but yeah, the conditions change pretty quick here. These tides are big. You know, it's De La Haye just wanting to get a score there. It looks like he's getting a few numbers, all still pretty tightly grouped. Can't believe Vittoria's only had one wave in 22 minutes. Doesn't need a big backup, only needs a 1.9, so he doesn't need anything at all. Just has to try and find something within the last 3 minutes, and it is tight.
Thomas Dubier making his final preparations, and with 3 to go. Squeaky bums on Vittoria, who does have the high score. Doesn't have the second ride though. So 27 minutes, just the one wave ridden by Ruben. He's got priority. He needs to go a wave. And he does need something to come in. He only really needs to stand up, bottom turn, and maybe one turn to get his 1.9. But in order to do that, Ben, he needs a wave form.
He does. He's got priority, so he can choose any wave that comes through if it does. And it will now just be going, right, do I have to, you know, at what stage do I go inside and try and get one of those ones that Gatchin's looking at? At what stage do I have to, you know, just pull the pin on waiting for a set?
Final minute, I think. If there's no sets on the horizon in a minute, I think he might paddle shorewards, would be my guess.
A few lines approaching though. It looks like there might be some action in the water with 2 minutes to go. Yeah, he'd be absolutely kicking himself. Somehow he gets it through this heat without getting a wave in the last sort of 22 minutes of the heat. And patience is one thing, but this might be testing the patience somewhat. And he's waiting. He just can't wait. I mean, he can't do much more than just wait. The ocean can only do so much, but here he goes.
Little move. Yeah, he's making a move here. In 4th place, only needs a 1.9 per second. Here's a set coming. He's going to get this as we see him just reposition. That wave will just kind of cap out there and just go a little soft, and he'll just paddle. No, I think he'll get himself in the spot. We'll stick with the left for De La Haye, who will bend a couple of turns. Looking to try and consolidate his 2nd place. Back up to 3.5. There's not a great deal of pace or rhythm, but nevertheless, he shrugged a couple of turns away. Now, did Ruben Vittoria get on that right-hander? I can see that he doesn't have first priority anymore. That suggests that he does. So does that picture right there, where he's on the inside. Now, he only needed a 1.9, Ben.
Well, I think if he's gone from the outside to the inside, you'd hope that he's done that. So let's see. Yeah, he's in perfect position. Takes off, drives down the line. Nice little sparky cut back. Doesn't look nervous, considering he has to complete this to get any chance of getting through to the quarterfinals. He's going to finish it off here. Oh, he smashed it. That is solid surfing under pressure.
Scores to come in, though, for this wave here of Gassi and De La Haye. That might make the requirement harder. We've got a number for Marco as well to come in. So it's all coming down in the final minute to a crucial exchange of a sort of slow heat, slightly starved of the energy we were promised from our first thrilling encounter. And De La Haye might be in a spot of bother. We'll tick down. Here goes Mignot. Under 10 seconds to go. He's a long way back. Can he come from behind? Yes, is the answer.
Here, I reckon.
And he'll go for a punt, and he'll get it done, and he'll throw up sort of devil horn claims with a little bit of chest and some fists as well, and some clapping. Yeah, more fist pumping.
Classic Peregrine stuff there.
Wow. So, Ben, let's see how this goes down. Not much points on offer early on, and then you called it. He's going to look to punt. That's what he did.
That's it. I mean, it's just... he doesn't even know what he needs, which is like, doesn't even know what score he needs, but he goes for it. Fair play. That's a good air. There's not a whole lot of amplitude, not a whole lot of rotation either, but it's well, you know, it just depends on what score he did, and we don't know that because there's some other scores to come in. So there's a lot of sifting to do here, a lot of scores to come through, and that will determine whether that is enough. I like the passion. I like that he's given it some what for to the judges, but it all depends. I think De La Haye might be a bit of strife. He was the one that was most under pressure, and his last left-hander, I think, was probably the weaker of the lot. So his score has already come in at 3.83. So both Marco Mignot and Vittoria needing small scores.
Yeah, but the important thing is that Ruben's high score is about a point better. So if you just compare their waves,
I think Vittoria's got this.
Was Marco's over a point better than what Ruben did.
Well, I thought Ruben's wave was better than Marco's in any case. I think it's kind of irrelevant. I think we're going to find Vittoria, and that is the case. Moves up into first. Zubizarreta into second. Still got a score from Mignot to come in.
Crucially, a 5.31 now is the number for Marco Mignot. 5.31, the requirements. The judges having to think about that. Not much points scored on the outer part of the wave. He went a long way, and then he threw an air, kind of span around, relatively flat. It was nicely done. It was clean. It was pretty crisp. It wasn't huge. The section wasn't massively critical, but it was nicely done. And now 5.31, the requirement. And he looks, yeah, just slightly less confident than he did as he finished that wave when he was emphatic. Now he's just kind of dialed back a little bit, and he's waiting to see his fate decided by our 5 panel of judges. Debrief for De La Haye. It's just sort of starved the waves, that one, really. I don't think anyone made too many on-wave mistakes as such, nothing like that. No one can be too hard on themselves. There just wasn't a lot out there, Ben.
No, that's right. I think Vittoria did well. He eventually just played really patient and get those only 2 waves, but 2 waves that counted. Yeah, no one got those right-handers that could allow them to open up. De La Haye, he fought hard. He just never got the waves, and they're still thinking about this, whether Marco Mignot needed a 5.31. The judges coming in.
Yeah, doesn't look like it's going to get there. 5.31, 2 judges have said no. And it looks at this stage like being good news for Spain and bad news for France, as our 2 Spaniards, Vittoria and Goni Zubizarreta, will make it through. It's official. Goni gets through in second, and look how much it means to him. The fire's still burning.
Look at that magpie.
For Goni Zubizarreta. Ruben Vittoria was super patient. He only rode 2 waves. He gets first place. Goni's stoked. The nicest man in surfing. He's through to the next round. It's official. Vittoria and Zubizarreta advance through to the next round. Marco Mignot and Gatien De La Haye, they'll bow out of competition. Slightly slower out in the water. Still waves out there. Join us for more live action from beautiful Caparica right after the break.
Prepara os teus sentidos, porque vais despertar. Vais ser o primeiro a ouvir, o primeiro a olhar e a tocar. Tu vais ser o primeiro a inspirar e a provar esta nova realidade antes de todos. Agora, primeiro. 5G, vais sentir.
Can I change my answer?
And I wish we could take that one back.
Trestles is the perfect place.
Fair point, but I'm going to disagree. It's not a real power surfing wave.
I'm going to throw your power out the window. Watch the hottest debate in surfing only on worldsurfleague.com.
The Estrella Galicia Caparica Surf Fest welcomes you back to the beach on a beautiful Saturday morning in Portugal. And a brand new foursome in the water. Thiago Caparica, he was the man from yesterday with that wave of the day. Iago de Mendes of the Basque Country, Thomas Dubier of France, and a man we know a little bit about. His name's Vasco Ribeiro. He's from, where's he from? Portugal.
Yeah,
it's
Vasco.
Chico Pachico back in the booth, mate.
Yes. Good morning, Paul.
Morning.
Yeah, Vasco, he can be European champion if he makes this hit.
How much would that mean to him?
I have to ask him.
Okay.
I have to ask him.
Okay. Vasco Ribeiro was absolutely on fire last week. He looked real good yesterday, and he's up already in this one, Chico.
Yeah, big first carve, as we are used to. Another check turn to the back. I love commentating his waves. And yeah, he gets another one in there, and boom, finishes it off. And he gets another one. So Vasco, he looked super fired up. Good right-handers, long right-handers, and he loves this type of waves. So yeah, Vasco is looking fired up for today.
Bunch of waves ridden during the break. This was Iago Dominguez.
Yeah, Iago here trying to milk this wave all the way through. Couldn't really do some significant damage. And Thomas, yeah, little touch there, carve here, and he gets another one. Thomas surfed really well yesterday, right? I saw he dropped some big scores. And yeah, we've got a really good heat on our ends.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's stack it up for a scintillating encounter. Let's hope the waves keep on delivering. As we see Thomas Dipierre, little vision of him as he'll make his way back out. Iago Dominguez got sort of softer inside, didn't he, Iago?
Yeah, Iago couldn't really find a wave that could allow him to excel on those turns, and the wave was kind of soft. He might be looking for a better opportunity to put some scores on the board, I think. And yeah, I haven't seen too much of Iago. Have you, Dominguez?
No, not a great deal, actually. I've liked what I've seen so far. Here goes Thiago Caparica from a long way back on a wave. So he's got a sort of steep takeoff to soft section. Now we'll get a nice little wall in front of him as he will snap one nice and hard. And again, he'll sort of poke that up nice and vertical. He'll wiggle those hips around. And just readjusting. Oh, that's nice and spicy. And he'll land that as well. And a little explosion. He'll just kind of control that out down there. It's vigorous surfing from Thiago Caparica.
Yeah, he's got this composed style where looks like he's really calm. But then when he gets to the lip, he actually excels. So yeah, Thiago is looking really sharp.
Do you know who I want to hear from? Ruben Vittoria. Well, good news is he's standing by down the beach with Joanna.
Yeah, that's right. That was intense, huh?
Yes, so crazy.
You were watching the first heat, getting all pumped up, and then everything slowed down. How are you feeling?
Well, I saw the first heat that was pumping, like all time, non-stop, perfect wave, and high scores. And when I saw that, I say that I'm going out and just take good waves and surf and have fun. And my heat was, I don't know what's happened, but I think the tides changed and was super slow, no waves, and I need only 1 point to make the heat. Oh, so that was crazy, but I'm so stoked to make it.
But you were sitting on a pretty good score, so all you needed was that backup wave, and that's what happened. So you're in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, that's so sick, so I'm so happy, and thank you, everyone.
You look really happy. Go get some rest and get warmed up, and we'll see you in the quarterfinals.
Obrigado.
Obrigado.
All right, great job, Ruben Vittoria. Thanks, Joanna. And all smiles from him. Such a happy camper, kind of whatever, really. He's always seems like a pretty positive chap. And sometimes you just got to sort of back yourselves. He sat for ages with just one wave. He had the high score, didn't have a backup, needed a one with a minute to go. And he ripped his way from 4th to 1st place. And he's very happy about that, as was Goni as well. It's great to see the passion still burning for Goni. He loves making heats. Gets himself into the quarters as well. We will be having the men's quarters today. Chico, what do you think our chances are of finishing the whole event? We're on standby for the semis and the finals. Just what's your feeling in your bones, mate? What's your little finger telling you?
They will do it. I think it's super fun, and with the tide coming up, it's going to be really fun the whole day. So I think we've got probably the best day of the waiting period today. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they finish the contest today. And yeah, talking about Goni, when he was going to the water, he was so excited that I decided to give him kind of like a high five. But he kind of like just shows me that bomb of Rocky Balboa kind of thing on my end. And I go like, ouch, he's excited for the heat. Just don't throw high fives on people that he's going to the heat, because they're really pumped.
23 to go, set stacking up. And we have Vasco Ribeiro with a good score, 6.33 already. He's out the back. He'll like the look of this. Only a third prio, though. So Dominguez could shut him down if he wanted to. As he surfs past him, he decides not to. And Vasco has a little flap around speculatively. And that wave will go a bit soft. We'll sort of spread our line up right out at the moment. And the energy's just trying to sort of find its place between sandbars. Also trying to find energies. Thomas Dipierre, he's got a great looking wall here. That's a big snap. He'll put himself behind. Oh, that was nice. And he drift the tail out as well. Good stuff from Thomas. At a 4 prior to that. That was just his second wave. It will count for him. And I reckon it's going to be a reasonable score.
Yeah, Thomas looked really, really sharp on that wave, fitting their 3 big turns as we see Vasco here.
Vasco Ribeiro, champion last week in Santa Cruz, and he bouts a couple of quick hits, looking sparky. Dropped a massive 9 last night in pretty solid waves in the late evening light. Back this morning, straight down to business.
Yeah, Vasco here gets a quick snap, strong one, and then he gets another one. I love this zippy, strong style of Vasco where he makes every turn count. Threw a lot of water there, and he gets another one. So looking really sharp. And Thomas here, great composed style, great carve, gets off the top there, and he goes for the last one. Boom, tail out, and little fist pump because he was stoked on that one, and that was a really well surfed wave.
Caparica going left.
Nice air reverse, taking advantage of that wind. Just too easy for this kid, and yeah, he took advantage of that wind and looked really good. I don't know, I'm wondering what the judges are going to think of that one, but it was a good air.
It's not going to be the high 9 that he got last night, but it was really nicely done, and I like the way he's keeping his options open in terms of where he's going to get his scores. It's predominantly been a long right-hander. All the scores coming on the right so far this morning. Just saying, you know what, for some good lefts come, I'll take them. Making a little point of difference. Punting nice and big, and we're going to get a really good number coming for WS soon. That beautifully shapely right, and some real smart surfing from him. It's going to be close to the excellent range for Thomas. It's going to set up while we wait for that score to come in. It does come in as a 7.67. Good news for De Beer, and also good news for Zubizarreta, who made that last heat, and he's standing by for a chat with Joanna.
Nail biter there at the end, eh?
Yeah, it was tough. It was a hard hit, not many waves. The hit before was pumping super consistent, and we thought we were going to have many waves, but suddenly the tide changing stopped a little bit, and we were there waiting, and yeah, in the end, Ruben had the best wave for the heat and only needed a 1.5, so I knew he was going to get first. So I was like, yeah, pretty nervous in the end because Marco got a wave last 10 seconds, and it was pretty close.
Feels good to go into the quarters, right?
Yeah, it feels great. Yeah, it's been a long time since I don't do like a good result, so yeah, I feel great. The
well, you look great out there as well, so good luck in the quarters.
Thanks.
I'll see you there.
Thank you.
All right, great job, Goni. Great to see him in quarterfinals. Which of our 4 in the water are going to secure spots in the quarters? Well, Thomas De Beer's in with a good shout because he's dropped that 7.67. The score coming in just as we went to that chat with Goni, and he's in first at the moment. He leads Ribeiro, who's got a number to come in, and he's currently sitting on a 0.5, so he will certainly improve there. Good chance of going to first if he gets 5.35, 19 on the clock in this one. A lot of surfing yet to come from a long day. Chico, how do you stop yourself from sort of over-frothing first thing in the morning? We've seen surfers talking about watching all the surfing going down and seeing great waves. How do you just sort of dial down on the energy, make sure you peak at the right time? What's your secret, mate?
Yeah, I think when the waves are good, you kind of like get those expectations really high, and sometimes you need to settle that down and just think about what you have to do, because sometimes you just see heats with like 8s and 9s, and suddenly in your heat, waves go flat, and your expectation was right there, and your frustration comes up really quick. So you gotta stay calm and be ready for your heat. Don't really put too much expectation in terms of wave quality and choice, and yeah, do your job regarding what you have in front of you. I think it's the secret to make it happen. I never used it though. The secret. The formula. I never used that one, but Vasco is doing such a good job on doing that.
Secret's out now, mate, as well. We've said that on air.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
All right, 17:40 to go in this. The score is in for Vasco. It's a 5.23. Second place is where he'll find himself in this one at the moment. Plenty of time left to go. 5.35, that requirement for first. Thiago Caparica, his number's in for his aerial. It's a 5.5 for his left-hander, the aerial manoeuvre. Iago Dominguez got a flat 5, just the one score for him. This one's all pretty close. WA with the best of it, 7.67, a good number. Other than that, numbers, yeah, they're pretty similar across the board. Everyone with something in that kind of 5 or 6 range. And we're seeing, yeah, fairly good opportunities when they come through, but some sort of protracted lulls between, and certainly one of those mornings, just looking at the sort of periodicity of this, where you want to kind of get your points on the board early if possible. As we'll see a few little shapely sets stack up. Were you surprised at how much it picked up last night? Did that surprise you?
Actually, no. I really thought, I think I said in the morning that when the tide would change, the swell would come.
Yeah, I remember you saying that now, mate. Yep.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. I was really accurate with that information.
Yeah, nailed it again.
And if the waves wouldn't pick up, I would say I didn't say anything about it. But yeah, as I said that, I have to remind you that I said that. But yeah, I was not surprised. Like I knew that once the tide changed, the swell was going to pick up a little, and it's what happened. And with the wind here, it helps a little bit for the swell to get in too, because when it was glassy in the morning, you could feel the waves were not that pushy, and on the afternoon with a little bit of wind, the swell kind of came in and it got better. So yeah, I saw some amazing waves and amazing surfing.
Little separation from our group here. Your lead at De Bies to the right of your screens in the white singlet. He's sitting quite a bit deeper up the peak, so either he's aiming at that left up there or he wants to come from deep on the right. I reckon he might be looking at opportunities on lefts. I think he might have found possibly that left's a bit steeper for his likings. He's got a good score on the right, but a change in tactic from De Bies as we see him. Yeah, I think he might be looking to go to his backhand up there. We'll stick with our main peak with the rest of our surfers sort of spread out. And we will see Vasco Ribeiro, and he's flying down the line with a ton of speed. He'll get a nice section here. Whoa, there's a good snap, and he did well to fit those 2 turns in. That was a tricky wave to surf. Good stuff from him. Right behind him, Dominguez, the Basque, and he'll belt one and sting the tail nicely. So a good hit from him. Just that one turn. I like the pace to Ribeiro's wave. He made room for himself and just blew it up.
Yeah, a 2-for-1, really strong. That carve, he did a really good job on handling that carve at the end there, and to actually throw the tail after. So let's see it again. Vasco winding up, and he gets this really strong carve. He knew he had to be fast, so he got 2-for-1 in there, and really strong finish. I love the way he does this carve, and then he gets another one. Boom, straight away, really strong. So yeah, Vasco looking really sharp. Thomas, as you said, on the left, getting a big snap and another one. So
I liked it.
I'm wondering what he did on the outside, because you don't see Thomas doing that a lot.
Yeah, he's got a deadly backhand. His big score, 767, came on a right, and then he switched over. Maybe felt there's just a bit more steepness on offer on that left. Not a bad shout. Found himself in a load of room over there as well. It's all on his own, so any wave that came through. Let's get another look at this effort from our Basque surfer, Dominguez.
Gets a quick snap, he winds up off the bottom and boom, throws out the tail. So Iago, really technique style, and a really technical turn there. I really enjoyed that last turn. He blew the tail out, so it looked really good on that turn. But yeah, Thomas just, he got away of the pack, and he found himself on a little left bank, and I think he did just well to make sure he was in the right position for what I thought it was a good looking wave. So let's see how that score comes in.
Numbers dropping for Vasco Ribeiro. It's going to be similar to his low number. Won't improve on his high. He might nudge up his score slightly. If it's better than a 5.35, we'll go to first. Currently, it's around about that mark. Just waiting for another judge to lock in, see if he can get into first place. Of course, we do have a score to come in for De Bies. I dare say he'll improve on his 4. So if Vasco does go to first, it won't be for very long. 12.5 on the clock in this one. It's our 3rd heat of the morning. Possibly finals day. We're not sure for now. We're going to wrap up quarters and get that sorted. Semis and final on hold for men's and women's. Our contest director, Hugo Pinero, local legend, your good mate from this region. He's going to make those big calls along with surfers themselves, the head judge. Everyone's going to get involved and decide whether we're going to wrap up today. I reckon there's a reasonable chance doing that. Shika Pashika says he thinks we will. He's been right pretty much throughout the week about everything so far, mate. I mean, your records are unblemished, isn't it, really? You're pretty much 100% with your calls. Have you ever thought about gambling? You should get into predictions, mate.
You really want to talk about gambling with me? Last 5 times I went to a casino, I played on 0 and I won.
There we go. So we will see Tristan Guilbeault get ready for an all-francophone affair featuring Bissot, Martin and Crier. So 4 good buddies who know a fair bit about each other and some interesting rivalries stacking up there as we see huge numbers for Dubier for his left. We saw him drifting over. We thought maybe he's going to go to the backhand weaponry. It's exactly what he did. The judges said, you know what, 8-3-3 for that, Thomas. So he will go straight back to first. Vasquez occupied that spot for a very short period of time. Set stacking up on the outside. A-frame energy to the peak. Dubier, good energy for him. Massive total, 16 points for Thomas Dubier, commanding in this one. Dominguez been quiet. So has Thiago Caparica after blowing up, getting the Estrella Galicia wave of the day for a big fat 9-7. Last night, this morning, struggling a little bit just in terms of his wave catching. He's only caught 2. And that set was just kind of, it's spread out our lineup now. We've seen waves break outside and kind of back off. We've seen waves go under and kind of break inside. There's a few questions in our surface mind about where exactly to sit.
I think what is happening is the tide is coming in. So the outside pit we were seeing at the start of the comp is starting to disappear. And the bank is starting to shift to where Thomas is right now.
Heat leader on that little left runner. That one will go into a hole, but a prudent choice paying off to go and sit up there as he goes. He already had the high score. He improves it with an 8-3-3 on the left. Looks like he's been joined by Iago Dominguez. So it looks like a little shift from our Basque. Goofy has gone over to try his hand on that running left. There are rights up there as well. So a bit in our surface minds in terms of exactly where to sit, what peaks to go for, which waves they think are going to have the most opportunity. The right-handers sort of spaced out a little bit, the ones down the line. It does get a bit soft, and that forces our surface to go for those kind of cut-back set-up manoeuvres. As we see Charlie Martin getting his jersey. He got himself a 9 last night, threw down a cool kind of backhand, just a straight air, landed it, and it went straight into another turn. Judges really appreciate that stuff from him. He's looking really, really good, confident, because you mentioned spending a lot of time down here in Caparica. He'll know the wave pretty well, and he'll love the fact that he's got a chance in good ways of getting through to the quarters and possibly go all the way here.
Yeah, I thought I spoke with him at home, and he was really focused. Charlie really wants to make it happen for him, and he wants to put a good result on the board. He was telling me about how long he hasn't really found that rhythm throughout the comp, and yeah, yesterday he ripped. So
did he?
For him.
Has he been enjoying you on the broadcast? Is he enjoying your commentary?
I didn't ask him that.
Okay. He didn't offer anything? He didn't say great job as well to you, mate?
Yeah, he said, but we did, like, you know, we talk about other stuff. We were just talking about how good the waves were and how good he surfed. I think he ripped, so...
what did he have for dinner?
Him?
Yeah.
I didn't saw.
Fish with rice?
No, I didn't saw. Because I was in Lisbon.
Meat
so,
with sausage. All right, let's check out Thomas Dubier on the left. He'll blow the tail out. 8 on the clock. He'll go down. What did you have for dinner, mate?
I had bitok.
Okay.
You know what is it?
It's a bit of cow with a bit of egg on top.
Exactly, with chips.
It's a classic Portuguese dish.
Yeah, and a croquette.
And a croquette.
Yeah.
Is that wise? Did you need the croquette?
No, just a mustard croquette and a steak. And yeah, really good. French restaurant, so always well received.
Many fantastic places to eat and drink and dine and enjoy yourselves on the beautiful coast of Caparica. Spot for choice, really, down here. Or if you don't want to go to a restaurant, you could just get yourself a little picnic, sit on the beach, watch the sun go down, or come up, you know, or stay out till it comes up. Whatever tickles your fancy. So much fun stuff to do in Costa de Caparica, as well as surf out in these beautiful waters as it gets up towards breakfast time on a Sunday morning, and it gets up towards showtime in our competition. This is Heat 3 of the round of 16 sets stacking up. Debbie has belted a big total. Vasco Ribero's got a reasonable one, not huge, 6 and 5. Carrique Dominguez with a bit of work to do. Here goes Thiago, another late takeoff into a right-hander, and you'll see him just kind of stand there and he'll prod this thing. He'll wait kind of patiently, sort of lurking with intent, and he'll go up for a sort of a late hit, and he'll go down. Meanwhile, De Beer, bang, on the backhand, in the pocket, he'll kick out.
Looks a little hard now. The conditions looks hard to find those long and pocket waves with some good sections to it. We saw Thomas getting away with it. I think he found the two best gems that came in. So yeah, Thomas might be stoked.
All right, here's the recap. Ribeiro didn't waste any time. Strong start from Vasco.
Yeah, Vasco loves to start strong, getting that big carve in. You can say, yeah, he's fired up. You can tell by the way he's surfing, and boom, finishing strong here, and he gets another one in there. So really good start for Vasco. Thomas here with a lot of flow and technique too. Boom, gets in there, and he gets the finish there. Huge turn to finish. That's why he got that 7.67. So here, Carrique on the left, getting that 5.5 right at the beginning of the heat. Oh, this angle looks amazing of this air. So yeah, amazing air from Carrique. Really good technique. And yeah, Thomas here reminding us how good is it on his backside and getting that board really vertical for 2 big hits and owing him 8.33. So what a good hit.
5 minutes to go in this one. Scoreboard remains unchanged. The song remains the same. Its requirements for Dominguez and Carrique to the tune of 6s if they would like to stay in the event, surfing the quarterfinals. Let's check out second place. Ribeiro coming from deep on the left, covering a load of ground, load of attack speed, and all he really can do is float over a section with a foam climb, then kick out, trying to hold off opposition from his second place or get into first. Got a tall order for first though, needs a 9.67 at the moment. We'll lose a little bit of time as he repositions back in the lineup. Priorities with Yago Dominguez, whose requirement to attack Vasco Ribeiro is a 6.73. Can he do so? We'll find out soon. Let's check out Carrique. Ooh. So another view of him going to the air on a left-hander, and he stomps it clean. Gets it done. Did you like that air?
I really enjoyed that air. I think it was really good to the flats. I thought the first one was bigger. Don't you reckon? On the
bigger and maybe a bit faster.
Yeah, but yeah, you can see Thiago has that turn unlock, and he's really good at those. As you said yesterday, he did a big one, right? Too. So.
Oh man, got a 9.7. Mental. Could have been a 10. Monday was actually genuinely angry afterwards, which I home that it wasn't a 10. I said, would you like me to pull over, Ben? Do you need a minute?
Yeah, Ben gets so aggressive.
The emotional buy-in for the scores is the thing that never really fails to impress me about Monday.
Yeah.
Because he does care, you know? This is the thing.
Yeah, exactly.
As we see 3 minutes and 10 remaining in this one, and a little sort of semi-interested effort from Carrique at a paddle. Meanwhile, Dominguez, the Basque, goofy, got a good-looking wall here. If he can do something with it, he'll set up his requirement 6.73 now. And the wave goes a little bit soft initially, then it gets nice and spicy, and he'll tag it. That's good, and he'll finish in here much better. A little safe on the end. That's probably a good choice. That section was tricky. He got 2 good turns done before that. Didn't want to undo his good work by overcooking it, but good stuff from Yago.
Yeah, really well surfed wave here. This wave, you could tell it was doubling up just after this caddy So he just waited, and here he starts to enjoy the wave. He gets this first quick snap, he gets a vertical snap in there, and here, as you said, I thought he played a little bit safe on that last turn, but nonetheless, I thought he finished the wave well, and it was a really well surfed wave. And yeah, as we see from another angle, quick snap, vertical there, and here he gets kind of like a layback snap on the last section. So Iago might be stuck on that wave, and yeah, well, choice of wave there for him.
1 minute 45 on the clock. De Beer way out in front at the moment in this one. Commanding performance for first. Vasco Ribeiro is in second place at the moment, and we'll see. This man, Thiago Caparica, he needs a 6.01. Nice first stinging turn. Here's some speed. What's he going to do with it? Couple of wiggles down the line. He'll try and punt here, and he'll get another reverse. He won't get a completion, and the board will kind of spin around without a surfer on it in the white water. He's going to have to hustle up here, get on and get himself back out. 6.01, he can do that with one section, but he hasn't got a lot of time, and he'll just try and get something on the way back out as we'll pick up waves on the peak, and we'll see Ribeiro in second place. A quick in and out for him. 1 minute left on the clock. Still requirements for Tariq and Dominguez. He's not going to get the score on that last one. Will he get another opportunity? Let's take a look at Dominguez here, looking for 6.53, ton of speed. He'll punt big, and he'll just kind of throw it away in the air. So it's all coming down to now a final 40 seconds. Haven't seen the score on either the efforts from Dominguez or Caparica, so they still need numbers in the final 35 seconds. Vasco Ribeiro, at second priority, might try and head over sort of to that area towards where they are. He'll pick them up and say, I think I'll just sort of control this one in terms of using my priority. If any opportunities come, I'll make sure I snuffle them out. And I don't think it will need to. Looks like we won't see more waves come through. Clock's going to tick down here. We're going to get our final 10-second countdown. And it's been a great job by Thomas De Beer, who's found the best opportunities by quite some measure in this one. He's served them really, really well.
Vasco is European champion.
Vasco is European champion. That's great news for him. But he'll be thinking about going very deep into this event as well. He's in the quarters. He won last week. But well done, that man, Thomas De Beer. He's through in fine style. Commanding performance from him. And looking really good for his spot in the quarters, as is that man, Vasco. And he'll be stoked to make it through. Sometimes it's highlights real stuff. Sometimes you're getting it done. That's what Vasco did today. He's through the quarters. We'll see De Beer and Ribeiro advance. Caparica will bow out of competition, as will Dominguez. More live action coming at you from the Estrella Galicia Caparica Surfer. Stay tuned for more right after the break.
Prepara os teus sentidos, porque vais despertar. Vais ser o primeiro a ouvir, o primeiro a olhar e a tocar. Tu vais ser o primeiro a inspirar e a provar esta nova realidade antes de todos. Agora, primeiro. 5G, vais sentir.
Can I change my answer?
And I wish we could take that one back.
Trestles is the perfect place.
Fair point, but I'm going to disagree. It's not a real power surfing wave.
I'm going to throw your power out the window. Watch the hottest debate in surfing only on worldsurfleague.com.
And welcome back to Caparica.
We are rifling through the round of 16. This is the last heat of the round of 16 to find the last two quarterfinalists. We just saw Vasco Ribeiro and Thomas Debier joining those quarterfinalists. And there's just two to go. And I'll tell you what, all these four surfers here have been absolutely on a tear all week. Bissau has been an incredible performer from Santa Cruz all the way through. That man, Andy Crier, has been on fire. I'm joined by Francisco Alves, and I've also got Charlie Martin and Tristan Gilbert. Who are you backing here, Francisco? Big action-packed heat. Who's your favourites?
Yeah, I think we're seeing kind of like the same names as we saw in Santa Cruz coming up to the big days.
Bringing rises to the top, doesn't it?
Yeah, so that's why they are called the I seeds. Every comp, and yeah, they are again all together battling for that win. Tristan in such a good form all week. He has been ripping. Charlie getting back to his form. He wanted that, throwing a huge 9 yesterday. Team just ripped in Santa Cruz, and Andy is just this fearless, smart competitor all arounder. So stoked to be here with you, Ben. It's a pleasure again, and yeah, we've got some action already in the water.
Yeah, a little wedge here. Gilbo's got priority. Oh, he's paddled for that. He's going to lose it. That's a mistake. I think Bissau kind of tricked him into that sort of mistake. Out the back, though, Andy Crier. So this is the Spaniard, just down on the Spanish border. He's got the highest score, one of the highest scores of yesterday, and if he can hang on to that, and he can't, so a little bit of a mistake. He has to push it. I get that, but he'll be upset that he just didn't quite land that. Yeah, really strong, really smart. Yesterday, he was just on his backhand, just posting 8s and 9s, raining spray down there. Charlie Martano too. He's been good. He's Bissau replay.
During the break, we saw Bissau here getting a quick carve, really explosive carve. He's so quick, and let's see what he can do here. Another little snap. There, the wave kind of like died off. Couldn't allow him to get the big, huge turn at the end. Here we see Charlie starting off with a 6. Great carve coming off the bottom. Boom! Vertical snap. He gets another one. And let's see if he can finish it off. Yes, he does. Boom.
Such a confident surfer, isn't he, Charlie Martin? When he's in that sort of run, actually hold the phone, there's more from Bissau.
Yeah, Bissau here. Quick snap. Throws the tail out. Oh, gets vertical in there. And this one just happened now. So Bissau going at it really well.
Yeah,
surf wave.
I was going to say, Francisco Charlie Martin, he's a confident surfer. When he gets in a good positive frame of mind, he can be so deadly. Sometimes he can get a bit negative and he can be his own worst enemy. But when he's on a roll, when he's confident, and when he's calm and relaxed and got everything in order, he's so dangerous. But hold that thought. Speaking of someone who's confident, calm and dangerous, Joanna is also with Thomas Debier.
Yeah, congratulations. You were having some fun out there. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I mean, it was like difficult because the right was starting to going down a little bit, but I saw a couple less before my hit. So I started going right and I got a good one, and then I went under the prio and I got my best score. So I'm really stoked with that strategy and hope it's going to work out for the next hit.
Is there some extra pressure coming up in a heat with Vasco?
I mean, I don't think so because he's like older than me, so I have nothing to lose. I was just like trying to surf my best and get the best ones because in these conditions, the guy who got the 2 best waves will win the heat for sure. So I was just trying to, get the best waves.
Keeping positive, right?
Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
Good luck in the quarterfinals. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joan, and thank you, Thomas. Yeah, I'll tell you what, Vasco Ribeiro might be just a bit of a dear size. He's just old, was what Thomas Debier said. But he's also the European champion now, courtesy of that heat win, also that progressing through that heat. We've got Vasco Ribeiro is a European champion yet again, but this man, Charlie Martin on his backhand, his left looks really nice, and watch him go. So spicy. That Dylan surfboard made over here in Org, and they are looking great for him. He's been riding on his boards for a couple of years now, so he's got his boards dialed in, and he's just got that backhand attack absolutely on point. A 6.9 was his scoring wave before that, and you're going to think that wave was a better version of Francisco.
Yeah, Charlie, he got this wave. You could tell it was amazing. Quick snap there. Boom, gets a big snap in there. And there he gets quite late, but he managed to fit 2 turns in such a short space. As we see here again, this one. Boom, he gets another one here, vertical. And then he fits another one in there. Boom, fist pump. Yeah, I'll do a fist pump in there too, mate.
Yeah.
That wave was really well served.
Yeah, that was so technical to get those, as you said, those 2 turns. And they're pretty clean, although he was late to both. And he's straight up again into another one. So, as we said, I was saying about once Martin gets some confidence, once he gets a groove on, he starts doing that type of stuff. And yeah, those 2 turns were really late on the left before that wave, but he just clicked them, really came out with style. He's going to get a good score, and he's going to go up into the lead, I'd say. So a 6 and a 4.17, and one more score to drop. Look at these sets piling through the Costa de Caparica, the offshore winds, the great conditions, and this time it's Gilbao. A little bit of a funny first turn, got a bit stuck. Now he's revving up. Massive turn, but that's only a 2-turn combo, and the first one was a little bit weak, so that probably won't be one of his scorers. And we've seen the score drop there, an 8.17 for Charlie. So that left-hander was into the excellent range, and it backs up a 6.9. So he's got some serious daylight between him and second place. Gilbo and Andy not managing to get any type of reasonable numbers on the board. Bisso's got a 6, and it's Martin who's come out of the guns firing Francisco. Nothing like having a first 10 minutes like that and just nailing a couple of big scores.
Yeah, I'm so stoked to see Charlie such in a good form. 8.17, well deserved. The wave was amazing. He served so well, so yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But right now, speaking of winners, and I think potentially a new European champion, Joanna is down there with Vasco Ribeiro.
Yeah, quarterfinals, European champion. How are you feeling?
It's good. It's good to start the morning like this, and today was one of those mornings where I felt I was really slow. I don't know, I didn't woke up the best way, but it's fine. This one is done. It's nice to get the European title, but it's gonna be a long day. There's still some waves, which is good. So it's good to win the title on the first tee to start off the morning. But I'm gonna try to stay away from that and keep going.
How are you gonna get that energy?
It's easy. It's just a little coffee and it's done. I'm feeling good. I'm relaxed, but I just sometimes those mornings where you feel like nothing is happening your way. But if this one is done, next ones will be better.
Well, keep positive because I'm sure you're going to do great. And good luck in the next round.
Yeah, thanks, Joanna. Yeah, no hard to keep positive. The new European champion, fresh off a win in Santa Cruz, now in the quarterfinals. So he's been just, he reckons, one little quick cup of coffee. And I mean, when he says a little bit flat, he's probably operating at about a 98%, not 100. Okay, see if this man can reach 100. This is a nice left. See the little double up section ahead of him. He drives through. It's going to be big this. So fast, shuts the door. Only 2 turns, but they were both pretty big. And he's just looking pretty sharp as well. So I think Priere and Gilbo are just in a little bit of strife here. If those 2 servers start to get away from them, they're going to be in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, Biso, you're getting that carve there, and he kind of had to go horizontal because the wave was kind of like fading away from him, but he did such a good job on fitting this turn there.
Yeah, I mean, that was well done. I just thought he may have gone a little bit sort of above the lip on that one. It was a thick old lip though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
not easy section, but I was expecting a bit more sort of maybe fins out the back, but you know, not playing it safe, but playing it smart. And here goes Claire, and a nice left. So he's got that long, drawn-out cut back, a nice little layback snap, and he's going to go big here. So 3 turns, considered surfing. Sort of had to wait his time and tried to throw a bit of variety there into that wave. You can see him really working on doing different turns, and you know, he knows that the judges don't like repetition. And so he added a bit of variety.
Yeah, what I'm loving about Andy here is that he's matching the speed of the wave. So here he does a really stylish layback and he, boom, throws the tail out. But what I'm enjoying the most about Andy is like he's matching the speed of the wave. He's not trying to oversurf it. So he's feeling his turns really well on the wave. That's why it's looking so clean and so crisp. And yeah, I love the way he matched the speed of the wave on this one. Because you can tell he's calm, but at the in matching what the wave is asking for.
Exactly. So when he was like, the in-between turns are really smooth. He's not like pumping or waiting. He's just surfing the right side. I get what you say there. Good technical analysis from Francisco Alves and Andy Crier. Just solid, a bit of flair, and that'll get him right back in the hunt for this heat. And looking strong. These increase in size will help him. He's a big lad. He likes the juice. So I think just a bit more energy in the ocean today might help as Bissau eyes off a section on the down the end bit, and just was hoping for a bit of a close at maybe an air section, couldn't quite pull that off, and so he goes back out to reset and start again. Yeah, really strong surfing from Andy. He's had a good year. He's been had a really successful last September in the when we had the countdown series, made the final in what was a stellar field over there in the French Rendezvous Cup of Surfing. And Italo Ferreira was surfing, Kanoa Igarashi, some big names, and he made it all the way to the final. In the off season, he's been putting clips together. He's been working on some of his own granola brands, working for his sponsors hard. He's just a really industrious, hard-working guy, and working on his surfing all the time. And here he goes again. So he's found a little insider. No one else wanted it. He goes, I'll have a crack at this. Driving down. This one's a bit different to his last one in that he had to... Oh, he's made that look easy, hasn't he? That was a really nice punt. Didn't really see it coming. He's got that in his locker as well. So, Priere, we'll just see. He's got a couple of scores now. That's, you know, to get two waves sort of without priority, back to back. And we'll just see. Talk us through this one. This way he had to chase it, didn't he?
Yeah, I just love what he did on this wave. Quick snap. He knows he has a good wave coming up. So, yeah, he goes for it. And I love it. Boom. Big air reverse. I love his style on those airs. He did a huge one yesterday too, but I love this one. Boom. Tail out. Yeah, and he makes sure he makes it. Yeah, he's looking good. Like, he until then, he had almost nothing. He had a 3 and a 0.6, so he might be stuck to kind of come back on this hit with like in 3 minutes, I would say. So yeah, Andy is looking really sharp, and he's so good at competition.
Yeah, he had some height on that rotation. Got a bit of amplitude, fins first. So even if it's a backup, it's a very strong one. Those scores coming through soon. As you see, wide out the back, looks like Tristan Gilbo. Oh no, sorry, Charlie Martin on his backhand. First turn is strong. Bit of a fat second, so he weighs his time, waits his time. Can we get one more in? Can't get it in. So that won't help his cause. He's already got a strong heat total. He just needs to improve on a 6.9. Still 15 minutes on the clock, a long time given that there's so many waves coming through. So consistent at the moment. This little swell, little pulse. Still got a bit more energy, 12-13 second period. Quite a bit more westerly direction, so it's sort of coming a bit more bang on. And so having the debrief down there, talking about what they can do, how to rotate your upper body, best way to score some points, all the little things that you need to drill down into before a heat starts. And she'll be firing up. That's the first quarterfinal of the women's coming up. Pretty sharpish. So we'll just see as Bissau driving down the line. Good first turn. Got some speed. He's going to go for the air here. Clicks it around. He actually rotated so fast. He landed it and then kept spinning. He had such centrifugal force that he kept spinning around and couldn't make it. That's an incomplete. Okay, so the wave's coming through. Andy Crier, that 3-turn left combo was a 7, which gets him much closer. Now needing a 5.23 to get up into second, and he's got that aerial manoeuvre. You see Tristan Gilbo on his backhand into those rocks. These lefts now starting to come into play as the high tide comes up. The rights a bit less frequent, and Gilbo just kept hammering away. And that was really good surfing.
How fast is Bisso surfing?
Oh, he's yeah, hyper speed. It's like a
surfing in another like speed, I think.
Yeah, it's so strange. This is the drone view from Tristan.
Yeah, Tristan, he gets a quick snap. He gets another one. Tristan has an amazing style and he rips. So he belted this wave all the way through the pier. So yeah, this hit is stacking up. Yeah, quick snap there. He's waiting. Boom, he gets another step in there. Kind of like gets off, but then he gathers himself and he finishes the wave off. So yeah, good wave for Tristan there. I think he might be looking for something stronger other than that, with a little bit more juice. But yeah, it looked really good. I love this hit.
Just had a bit of a wobble on one of those turns, but yeah, as you say, he recovered well, and it looks like he'll go back out. He didn't have any big scoring waves, so anything you get will be getting back in the hill, back in the heat. We're still waiting on that aerial turn from Crier to get scored. He'll be waiting for it as well. It's been a while. Pretty important score for him too. It'll sort of determine how he approaches the next wave, and he's got priority, so it's a big seat. We'll see some of the numbers starting to drop. They look pretty solid, and one judge 6.2, some late high fives, so it could be around that high five mark, probably getting up into second, but Gilboa also getting a score. So many scores to come in, and the judges working hard to lock them down. So 11 minutes on the clock. All the surfers now grouped together. Charlie Martin is the one who's got the ability. Kate Bisso, you talk about his speed. Here he goes, right in the pocket. Oh, that's a searing forehand carve. Another top turn. Just checks again and belts it again. So 3 strong turns. Yeah, just that ability to get that speed. So Andy Crier got a 5.67. So that pushed him up into second. We've still got ways of Gilboa to come. That probably won't be enough. But Bisso's this one, he didn't know, but when he took off, he needed a 6.45
to start it off. The carve was amazing. He really extended his arms and he finishes it off with a blowtail. Boom! So, Ben.
On fire. It's that board speed. It's always the defining characteristic of Bisso. Martin, the heat leader. Oh, and then he's nailed. I was about to say he's nailed that. Just as he landed, I think that sort of puff of breeze just took him away. So he's just, well, he's going for it. He's got a massive heat total, so he's already just trying to build on it. But yeah, Bisso, just that board speed, it's sort of immediately, it's apparent that he's just going faster than most other surfers in the heat. Andy Crier sort of a bit slower turns, but more powerful. Real contrast in styles. And the scores coming through for Bisso's last wave. That'll determine whether he gets up in that all-important second place. Really tight tussle between Bisso and Crier at the moment. And also Tristan Gilboa just getting a score on the board as well. So it's going to set us up nicely for the last 9.5 minutes. All surfers in form, all surfers looking like they've got their sort of mojo, and some waves approaching. And it looks like Martin. So Charlie on the right. Nope, so he goes left and just kicks out. So only in 3rd priority, now in 4th priority, but figured given where he is in the heat and his position, he can afford to chance his arm a little bit more.
Is Tim getting the score, Ben, on that last one?
I think he will. I think he needs, I think he'll get it. It was 3 really solid turns, really fast. He needed a 6.45 and he's got a 6.93. So once again, the system changes. Bisso up into second, and now Andy Crier is in 3rd place, needing a 6.16. In his factor is that isn't a huge score, and also he's got priority. So he's got a bit of time. Knowing Andy, he'll just try and wait for that one really good wave that can, forget the 6.16. You want to get a 7 or an 8 to really put it to bed. So he's going to wait for the right wave at the right time. Bisso, he's just staying busy. Different approach. Here he goes again. His lefts, he's going to go to the air here, does he? Just flicks it round and lands it. That was technically surfing, really strong. That was a pretty heavy section. And he's landed in the flats, yeah, checking his board as well, he might. He landed with a fair amount of force, stuck it clean, and just checks there's no buckle in that Channel Islands Proton he's been ripping on. And we'll see if that can improve on the 6.23. That's his lowest score.
Yeah, Biso, you're getting that first snap in there, and then this section was so hard to do an air, and he did so well to make it. I think he might actually improve on his score line. That first snap was actually powerful, and then here, boom, to the flats, really technical. He did a really good job on making that air. So Biso, there's a similarity in this hit. The guy without priority has been getting the best waves.
Yeah, and exactly the staying busy approach, not getting too caught up with that P next name, as we see some sets approaching now. Carolina Mendes warming up for the next heat. The Portuguese best young surfers. And she'll be eyeing off a win here. A couple of sharp jabs, warming up, getting warm. And we see Biso again. How many waves? This kid, he's going to go to the air. This time it's a similar turn. It's faster. It's a higher sort of rotation, higher spin. His last wave was a 7.5. So he's starting to build some scores. And these aren't the best waves. They're just, he's getting waves and he's making them work, surfing to his real best ability. And that was a super fast spin. And we'll see if that's any better than his last 7.5.
Yeah, basically you're winding up and boom, huge air, lands on the flats, looks at the judges. I love this angle. You can see how much extension he got on this air, and he landed, was almost a full rotation.
Almost a full rotation, yeah. He came so close. Unlike the other one where he's put the fins down and then swung it around, that was almost landed with his nose facing the shore. And it wasn't probably as high, but it had more rotation, and it had more speed of the rotation. So it's going to be another good score. And in the flash of an eyelid, just with some inside waves, Biso has racked up a couple of sevens or higher just by going to the air. So
yeah,
all of a sudden Andy Crier's position, he's been waiting for this wave for a while, is now getting increasingly hard. He needed a 7.44. It's going to actually probably go a bit north of that. And it's a hard one. I mean, Andy's sitting out the back there, and Tristan going, okay, I've got priority. I've been waiting for these waves. But you're watching Biso just keep spinning around, so you're watching him take off. Actually, that's my question too. How often do you watch, when you're in the heat, do you watch the surfers, your opponent's waves? Is that something you always check out? Do you make a conscious decision to watch their waves, or do you make a conscious decision to ignore what they're doing?
It depends. I think if you can actually, if you have priority and you let the wave go, you kind of have that look just to check how the wave is going.
Yeah.
To see if you made a good decision. But other than that, yeah, sometimes you see when you're paddling out and the guy's crossing your path on the way out. So I don't know. As we see Tristan here
fanging down, that has no opportunity. That won't score. So a 7.47. So those two spins for Biso has been his two best scores. He's locking in a heat total 14.97, and suddenly Charlie Martin has gone from being in a commanding lead to getting hunted down. But Crier now needs an 8-point ride. You think he's only get one opportunity. He keeps being super selective. It's probably the right opportunity now. With an 8-point ride, he needs a good wave, and it was been a really action-packed heat. Martin was the standout performer in the first 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, Martin started off really well with the 6-9 getting. He started off really quick actually. So Charlie, with 20 minutes to go, he had an 8 and a 6. He belted this wave off with a couple of vertical snaps, and this last one, boom, fist bump, 8-1-7. I'm in the lead. So yeah, Biso came back kind of late. But he did such a good job on landing these huge airs on the flats. I love the way his technique. Yeah.
Yeah, really fast, and then straight after it, backed it up with this one. So, yeah, it's that angle there, isn't it, that really shows just how fast and difficult and heavy the sections are he's landing. And he's still checking that board. Hopefully it's okay. Gilbo on the left. Nice drone footage. First turn is strong. Drone footage is great, but makes wave look a little bit flatter. You just see him get a little caught up there. He's done that on a few of his turns. Just not linking his turns, or the wave just not quite providing the sections he needs. And so that won't be the 9-point ride he needs. Time ticking down. Looks like an increasingly difficult decision or situation for Crier. He's the one that's probably got a chance to take over Bissau. Just needs a wave. He's sort of been out there now for 10 minutes. So got that sort of 2 waves back to back, and his strategy was clear to go out there and wait for the bomb. And with 2 minutes to go, so far it hasn't paid off. Could well do, but he's going to need something pretty special in the next 2 minutes.
Yeah, hard hit for Tristan. Couldn't really find himself out there. Yesterday was ripping. Tristan has been surfing really well. We haven't seen him in a proper good wave, so he might be looking back home into this hit and seeing what went wrong. But yeah, team just having this ability of making a hit that was kind of hard for him look a lot easier. And yeah, he just did so well on landing those huge airs, and Charlie got away with it really early. So yeah, stacked it. We knew it was going to be a high scoring hit, and here they are.
Yeah, exactly. It was always going to be busy, and it's just sort of come down to a flurry from Charlie Martin at the start of the heat, and here he goes, the heat leader now. Just winding up. This will be his last wave. Potentially a victory lap as he just maintains his composure, looking down the line. This won't be one of his scores, but he's just keeping the board safe. He'll come in. He'll be happy. It's down to Crier. He's waited a long time. I mean, he's such a student in the sport, and he'd be like, okay, I made a decision. It was probably a good one. It just didn't pay off in this instance, as Bissau sort of different approach of staying busy. It looks like Andy may have even got a wave there, and he's paddling back out. So I'm not sure if that will be anywhere near the 8-point ride he needed. We'll get the replay on that, but looks from his body language probably not. Timothy Bissau, and last shot for Gilbao as well. So this might be his last wave of the event. 2 great turns, showing the style that he knows he's capable of. The Hooters on, he needs a massive 9. He's going to have to go, well, he's going to have to do something never been done before. So he finished off, it's not a 9. Bissau gets an insider. He's had a great heat. Looks like Andy Crier's wave, he waited probably for 10, 12 minutes, was a 2. Oh, Bissau just comes in, he comes, sees his mate. So, great surfing from Charlie Martin and Timothy Bissau. They go through, as we see Charlie just lying on his back in the sand, looking up. Great performance from him. And he's through to the quarterfinals, which is a big result. He's super stoked. Bissau also will be pretty happy with his ongoing quarterfinals. So there's only 8 surfers left in the men's. There's 8 surfers left in the women's. We've got pumping waves. And the official results from that heats is Charles Martin in first, Timothée Bissau in second, Crier and Gilbao missing out. So that's the end of that. We're going to go to a short commercial break, then come back with the women's quarterfinals of the Estrella, Galicia, Caparica Surf Fest. Don't go anywhere.
Prepara os teus sentidos, porque vais despertar. Vais ser o primeiro a ouvir, o primeiro a olhar e a tocar. Tu vais ser o primeiro a inspirar e aprovar esta nova realidade antes de todos. Agora, primeiro, 5G, vais sentir.
Can I change my answer?
And I wish we could take that one back.
Trestles is the perfect place.
Fair point, but I'm going to disagree. It's not a real power surfing wave.
I'm going to throw your power out the window. Watch the hottest debate in surfing only on worldsurfleague.com.
And welcome back to the beautiful scenes of the Costa de Caparica. Look at those sculpted sandbanks. Every little sort of section divvied up between those jetties, full of waves. Look at all the surfers just frolicking the Saturday morning lineup. But there's only there's only two surfers in our little neck of the woods. And that's because it's the first quarterfinal of the women's division. Carolina Mendez and Garazzi Sanchez-Orton out there trying to become semi-finalists. Big quarterfinals. They've waited, didn't surf yesterday. And today, with the conditions ever improving, we've got some great waves. We've got some good commentating coming our way too. I'm pretty confident Diego Patrocino as we see a replay straight up and into it.
Come on, first wave of Garazzi Sanchez, the surfer from Euskadi. 2 nice turns already and a great finish. Oh, what a start for Garazzi Sanchez. Meanwhile, Carolina Mendes went to the left with 2 good snaps and a good finishing. Oh, I think we're going to have a great heat ahead.
Yeah, it was straight off the bat. So 2 good starts. We saw Garazzi Sanchez-Orton. She, I think in her last round of 32, she managed to just squeak in with a buzzer beater. But I'll tell you, there was no buzzer beaters needed from Charlie Martin. He was on fire from the very start. And Joanna is down there talking to him.
Feeling?
Yeah, very happy. I haven't made a hit. Last contest was really hard, so stoked to be here and got a couple waves. Made it with the team Bissau, so 2 Guadeloupe, and I think Thomas made it too. So that's 3, so pretty stoked. It's a Pirate Surf Club, so we're doing good. Yes.
Do you want to say a few words in French?
Merci à tout le monde qui regarde, merci pour le soutien, merci pour les messages et ça va connaître, hein. Donc aidez-vous.
Good job. We'll see you there.
Merci, Charlie.
Team Guadeloupe, absolutely on fire. Bissau, Debier, and Martin, a little island that just is pumping out some of the great surfers. You know, it's a tiny little spot. You know, there's not that many surfers there. There's some great waves, you know, and all of a sudden there's just there, but they just produce. It's like a conveyor belt of talent. And that first score coming in, speaking of talent, Carolina Mendez, an 8.33. What a way to start the quarterfinal. A 6-point ride for Garazzi as well. So she started well. She would have been really happy with that. But then straight away, Carolina Mendez, the local hope, she's just come out firing with a great score straight off the bat.
Yeah, I think that score, it was all about that last turn. It was really vertical, really committed, and really pleasant to see.
Yeah, she's such a great competitor. We saw her last year when we were lucky enough to have the countdown series, and she was putting it all on the line. Like, we saw her 3 or 4 times, like doing re-entries on dry rock. She was coming up like properly, like straddled on like 4 or 5 rocks, just picking away. But every time, just the commitment she showed to like doing whatever it takes. Like, she put a body on the line for an extra point. Yeah, really gnarly competitor. Great server from Portugal. Always just been on the cusp of sort of making that next step up, hasn't she, Diego? You've watched her since she was a young girl, and she's just always had the talent. She's just been on that level. She just needs to make that next grade up, and I think we can see her, you know, really pushing for, you know, to really be at the surfing's top table.
Yeah, definitely, Ben. We watched her evolution during the last few years. I remember her when he went to Indonesia just to do some trials on the World Tour, and she won the trials. So she was able to compete against the best surfers in the world in Keramas. And he's developing his surf, her surf, everything. Every time she goes to the water, she's a ferocious competitor.
Yeah, and here she's up and riding. She can't quite make that one, so just kicks out. Just two surfers in the lineup. There's so much space out in this lineup. There's rights and lefts. It's a huge area to work with. So as we see, Sanchez, the bass surfer, just trying to get in on this. Could have been a left. She misses it. And whether that's a paddle is another factor. Maybe not. Maybe it was. Yeah, so she paddled for that. I was just saying how the big lineup doesn't make that much of a difference, but still no need to just hand over the priority to your opponent for no really good reason.
Yeah.
And now she's going to have to wait and get the second helpings. And speaking of seconds, we've got Timothy Bissot down on the beach with Joanna Garnell.
Not on the beach, but in the athlete area. How are you feeling? Quarterfinals, looking a little familiar to Santa Cruz.
Yeah, I mean, it's the goal, you know, when you come to a contest, you want to get into the quarters, man-on-man heats. It's a completely different strategy and game, so super happy overall on my performance. It was a tough heat, and Andy and Tristan are two of my really good friends. I know they're capable of getting any scores, really. And so, yeah, feeling good.
And what's the strategy? Something you need to change it up a bit so we get a bit of better results?
Yeah, the strategy is going to be heat by heat and then hopefully get to the end and this time make it happen.
And keep positive, right?
Yeah, for sure, always.
Good job there. See you.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, Joanna, yes, you're not on the beach, technically, although I think the competitors area is built on the beach, so technically I think you might be on the beach, but I get your point. And well made. Yeah, Bissot staying positive as well, he might do. He has just been on a tear. He's lost one heat. I think he's probably surfed 8 or 9 in the last sort of 2 weeks. So, he's only been beaten once, and that was in the final by Vasco Ribeiro. So, yeah, he's used to winning. He's used to progressing. He's now down to just the quarterfinals. He's 3 heats away from a huge win. So, he's definitely one of the favourites. He's got the form on the board, and he's going to be super dangerous. We see the competitor zone on the beach, I might add. There's a sand there. She's waving to us. There's the train. Ah, there she is. We've had a lot of time. Oh, Joanna, what would we do without her? This event might have been... Yeah, she's still getting the steps up. She's still... she's only done 44 kilometres since this event started, and then she's still got the time for some quick calisthenics, and been a welcome addition to professional surfing. And I think we appreciate all the efforts. Out the back though, as we see a bigger wave, one big turn, Diego.
Yeah, there's got to be a good backup. Actually, we already have the score for that. And it's not a backup, it's the high score for her. It's a 6.13 on just one hit.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
She went for it, didn't she? Big closeout re-entry. And she made it stick. She's almost got the fins out there at a quick stage. And looking comfortable. She knows she's going to have to, especially after her opponent logs an 8.33.
Yeah.
She knows that nothing but the biggest turns are going to match now. And if she can just get, say, 2 of those turns in, if that was the end section, but she's going again here. She's paddling hard. And she's going to go to the right. It's another closeout. She can't make through that. Yeah, she needs to lose some open face. Carolina Mendez with that 8.33 can afford to be a bit more choosy. She, having posted that big score, Diego, she's got, she's got a bit more time. But she can be a bit more patient.
But with this last score, I think the judges want to send a clear message. For the girls, just to go big in 1 turn or 2 turns. If you just go big, you're gonna have a good score. Meanwhile, Carolina Men is up and riding, I didn't see the wave.
Yeah,
I
quick
just,
one.
Yeah, it was.
See what she did on that one. She was looking to back up that 8.33. Just got that sort of north winds, maybe a little bit of east in it. Northeast winds at the
Northeast.
moment.
Yeah, it's almost offshore.
Yeah, dead offshore. We probably go a bit round to the north as the day progresses, but it's still so clean on this southern side of the pier we're on. Just the way this particular beach faces, just handles that northerly wind a bit better. No wonder, and that's why we're here. Of course, with Hugo, our contest director, he knew that. He's called it each day. He's pretty much nailed it.
And this is Costa de Caparica as good as it gets. I mean, we are such a lucky, us and the surfers, and who is watching, such a lucky bastards, because it's pumping since yesterday afternoon to today for the finals days, possibly the finals days. It's pumping, and it's classic Costa de Caparica. Opportunity to everybody. Can go left, can go right, can go to the air. Offshore winds.
What more do you need?
Amazing vibes down here.
Yeah, great vibes. And a 4-point ride for Mendez last wave, so that just puts her back up into the lead, but not a big lead, 6.21. So she's still got a bit of work to do if she wants to close this out. We just saw last night from about, 3 o'clock really in the afternoon, it just started sort of every set was getting bigger, a bit more push in the swell. And we had some incredible performances last night, and we're just hoping that the swell would hang around, and it has. And we see Sanchez Orton looking at this, and she's going to work hard, and she's up on her backhand. She waits for it. Nice little first turn. Gets a nice little spray on her backhand, and there's a third. Getting right in the pocket. She'll want to finish this, and she does. So 4 turns. It was solid surfing, not particularly dynamic, but there was a bit of spray getting thrown. It was a nice wave too. So wave selection good. Execution fine, but maybe not quite enough sort of dynamism, Diego.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Ben. A couple of good turns, especially the third one with a bit of a good spray on it, but it was, I think it's not gonna be enough just to change the score. It's trying to increase. She's trying to increase that backup score. It's a 6.0. I think that's not going to happen. Meanwhile, the last of Carolina Mendes was a 4 points. We are reaching the halfway of this feat. We have 30 minutes it until the end, and yesterday we stopped the contest for 2 hours or 2.5 hours on the high tide. You think it's gonna happen the same thing today, or we're gonna have some good waves?
God, I hope not, Diego.
Yeah.
No, I think we might be right. I think the extra swell, that was just when we did that yesterday. This new swell hadn't really shown up. It was still just the remnants of the last swell. The new period hadn't kicked in, and I think that's why it sort of swallowed it up. There's still waves. So I think we're going to run through the women's quarters, and then the men's quarters, and the semis and finals we'll make a call on it. But I think we should be right. I think the banks can handle this. The tides getting a bit smaller too, aren't they? Not as big as they were at the start of the week. As we see Sanchez Orton, one big turn, and she just goes big sort of aerial, mistimed it. So I reckon we might be okay. I think we can run right through. So
yeah, but the peak of the swell, I think it was during the night.
Yep.
Because it's already dropping, but still, I think we're gonna have really good chances to finish today.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I think so. I mean, the swell, the period's sort of hanging around. I think the direction is quite good. It's like got that westerly sort of straight angle. Any north on this, and it gets heavily shadowed. So what swell there is sort of coming straight onto these sandbanks, and this sandbank is pretty good. I mean, I know Caparica gets a lot of good banks, but to have the comp bankers, sort of this with able to handle both tides, able to offer opportunities right and left, and so we're in a pretty good place. And this girl is in a pretty good place, so we see Mendez using a priority. Nice wall here. Cuts back, waits for it to stand up straight. There's a section here, one big one, and she finishes it. So 2 turns. Doesn't need much more than that. Trying to improve on a 4. And you think that she might get that with those 2 turns. A nice wave. Stood up well for her.
That was the first good-looking wave on the right-hander for Carolina Mendes. Beautiful turn, the last one, releasing the fins, putting down some really good commitment on this last turn, and I think she's going to be happy with the score.
Yeah, well surfed. A great sort of read of that wave. Got the foam bounce and then got the clip at the end. You see there the warm-up routine. Teresa Bombolo. She's got the shoes and the wetsuit on. I mean, Paul Evans have been talking a lot about footwear. I think the shoes and wetsuit look is an underrated one. Something that I'm trying to incorporate more in my everyday life. And I just think it's a winner. I think, you know, I mean, you can go the Crocs, you can go the slippers. It's not a bad approach, but it's a bit hard to get those sort of quick jogs on, you know, when you're doing a warm-up in the Crocs.
But the question is, Crocs with socks or without socks?
Oh, I'm a no sock Croc guy, but I don't mind a sock Croc guy. It doesn't really faze me, but personally, I'm a no sock Croc. But as I said, I don't mind a sock Croc, and whatever, you know, whatever works. It's completely, you know, it's your own opinion, your own decision.
It's like pineapple on pizza.
Well, no, that's just madness, isn't it?
For me, it is.
It's stupidity. Yeah. It's not like that at all. No. It's just, they're not meant for it. You know? I know you take your Hawaiians. Well, I know where you can take your Hawaiians. You can take it straight to the North Shore. And we've got a 5.70 for Carolina Mendes. So she's really made life difficult now for Sanchez Ortun. She needs to score up in the 8-point range. So far, she hasn't shown. I suppose that one big turn she got was a 6, and she needed probably 2, so she's going to have to go big again. She's under the pump, and her opponent is just squeezing the vice, making it more and more difficult. But while there's a little gap in proceedings, with Carolina Mendes out in front and Garazzi Sanchez Orton needing a big score, we're going to go to a short break and come back with more of the first quarterfinal of the women's division.
Almada, território de muitos.
The ocean gives me so much. It makes me who I am. I sign to treat the ocean with the respect that it deserves and do my part.
And welcome back to live action as we see the Bass Surfer driving down the line as the quarterfinal of the Estrella Galicia Caparica Surf Fest, and this is a good score. She needs a big score, and even if she can't quite get the 8-point rod, she needs Garazzi Sanchez Ortun trying to get a 7.91. Might not be that, but it's going to improve her position, Diego.
Yeah, I love the style, especially the arm position of Garazzi Sanchez. Unfortunately, this last turn, I think is not going to count. So I think it's not going to be enough even to change the requirement. So she have to reassess, pedal out again, choose another wave, and have another opportunity. The requirement is 7.91, and she still got time. 9.5 minutes to go. But look how the composure of Carolina Mendes. Outside, staying with the priority, trying to choose the best wave just to increase that 5.7 that she got. Yeah, anything can happen, but I think Carolina Mendes is in a good place to move forward and to get to the semis.
Yeah, exactly. She's got that 8.33 straight off the bat, and that was immediately put her in the driving position. And then she backed it up with a 5.70, so strong surfing. And she's kind of had control of the heat since the start. Garazzi now needing an 8-point ride to move into first. There's plenty of waves on offer and plenty of time. You'd hope that, well, Mendes will be hoping that she can also improve on her score, make it even more difficult. So another good backup, and she could eventually even put her opponent in combination land. So, and she's eyeing out the back a big set here. She's looking at this one, not quite thinking about it. Could have went left, could have went right, just left it. Elected to hold on to priority, but at the moment she's just sitting out there in the pole position. She's got a strong lead. She's got priority in the next wave, and she's got one eye on going to be the first athlete in the semi-finals here in Caparica. So she'll be happy where she is right now.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, we already have the score of the last of Garazzi Sanchez. It's a 5.4, so as we said, it's not going to be enough. So the requirement is still almost at 8 points. Is something on the horizon. Maybe the girls have an opportunity again. I think we're going to have surf on this set. No? But just a nice view of the drone. These guys know what they are doing. Excellent coverage during these 2 weeks.
Yeah, there's been some incredible footage by the drone operators, and we're going to go through. We're going to just look at this one live action here. We've got Ortun paddling, and that's forced Mendes's hand, and that's a good decision. She kind of sold her a dummy there. She forced her hand. She went, okay, I'm going to paddle for this. I'm going to make you paddle for it. Mendes should have been a bit more calm though, and she just looked at the wave rather than the opponent, but she didn't. Got sucked into it. I mean, it's not a potential massive problem, but she's lost priority. As you see, look at the heat recap, and it was Sanchez Ortun who started off pretty strong first wave, almost when the hooter went, Diego, and got a strong. She would have been happy with that strong start. A bit of a flash to the fins at the end, but then it was this wave that made all the difference.
Yeah, especially the last turn of this wave. A couple of snaps there, and look at this, really nice. I really enjoyed it. I kind of expect a bit more of the first wave of Garazzi Sanchez, but it's always hard to be on the first hit of the day and doing the first wave, because actually on the second wave that we have seen, she's done a 6.13. This is the backup wave of Carolina Mendes. Good roundhouse cutback and finishing hard. Wow, that last section. Releasing the tail.
Really good surf. Yeah, so backhand and forehand, big finishing turns. And yeah, you're right, that money turn was that big closeout re-entry that got her the 8.33. And she's never looked like sort of relinquishing that lead. Although 5 minutes on the clock. And Ortun looking around just to see if there's any action. She needs a big score, or at least she needs a combination of 2 good scores. She's got 5 minutes on the clock. She might be sort of set about just waiting for her turn, and she's checking. Maybe that was with her judges. I'm sorry, with her coaches. She got a signal saying there's some sets approaching. Readjust position.
And we just saw Carolina Mendes doing a little mistake, but I mean, when you put in your mind that you have to defend your position, it's always hard to not going on that situation.
Yeah, okay, so this is what's happened here. After she got priority, she's used it on one. Wow, big slide out turn and slid the fids out. But unfortunately, just couldn't hold on to that radical manoeuvre.
But that's the way. That's the way to have a hate point. Commitment, speed, flow, releasing the tail, showing everybody that she is in a real good shape and that she really wants to get through to the semis. And you need to do that kind of moves.
Yeah, you have to go for it, especially there was only one section that way, wasn't there? There wasn't any other opportunity, so she decided to go for it. Needs a big score, time ticking down. As we've seen, Mendes looking like a nice option here. This might have the opportunity for a bit more open face. A long left-hander. Big first turn. Can she get some more space? She can't. So, girls just not reading these waves too well. Well, I think they're just having fun, obviously. Yeah, it might be brother and sister.
Yeah.
Definitely brother and sister. Carly Vast and Aliana Vast. Imagine how many times those two have sparred together. And yeah, great family dynamic as two Vasts.
Imagine if both wins the contest.
Oh, I'll tell you what, it's a matter of time between they both win the same contest, because I've been really impressed with Aliane Vast. She's been showing so much commitment. I think she might be 15, 16. She's so young. She's a tall girl with a good, powerful sort of surfing style. She's got a brother like Callie, like sort of boxing her ears at every opportunity, getting her psyched up. So yeah, I think it's another time between those two win an event together.
I don't remember if that's happened already.
Brother and sister combination?
Yeah.
You would have thought
Tyler and Owen.
Right, and Owen, or Tyler and... Yeah, I think when Owen won...
In Snapper?
At Snapper, did Tyler win? I think she did.
Yeah?
I think she did. I'll have to double check that. Good stat though. I like it. Brother and sister winning combos.
Yeah, that Owen Wright winning after 1 month.
1 year out with a brain injury. Yeah.
1 year.
Yeah, that was one of the great recent wins of modding. One of the great sporting comeback stories. And
I think everybody in the surf community was happy about that.
You could not. I mean, he's such a lovely guy, and he'd worked so hard.
And it was really emotional.
Yeah, just to be in the event was emotional.
Yeah.
Just for him to be surfing was an incredible feat. And then as he beat his good mate Matt Wilco in the final too, like best friends since I've been about 7. I've seen Owen Wright's led a bit of a directive recently to try and get people to wear helmets while they're surfing. It's been giving away surfboards and helmets, trying to encourage people, especially young kids and all surfers, to wear helmets. It makes sense. I think we're just starting to find out about the role of concussion in surfing, and especially in big waves. But it's an issue that needs to be addressing. And he's saying that they wear a helmet. It keeps you safe. It doesn't affect your performance. Keeps you warm. So it's a good idea. But right now, out the back, Sanchez can't quite get the end of it. And that means Mendes can pounce. The heat leader's going to go for a big turn here. And just had a bit of a poor sort of last back half of this heat. None of the two servers either to get any scores on the board, and just been a bit slow. I mean, a half hour is a long time. They haven't really utilised it, but Mendes has been easily the strongest performer, having got that 8.23 at the very start of the heat and never let up. I don't think with 30 seconds to go, Sanchez's not going to give up. But she just looks like she's running out of time. As we see one last wave. This could be the last throw at the dice. And we've got Sanchez or Thun. Can she get an 8? She's got a wave. She's paddling ferociously. She's up and riding. And she's got the Bell's Bowl section. She comes around the corner. There's one turn. There's another. They look a bit flat from the drone, but the drone does flatten things out. There's the third turn, and you can just see from the body language there's not a whole lot on offer. And there goes the hooter. Still riding though, still going, not going to give up. That's a little layback slash, but even I think she might. Well, one more. I mean, she couldn't have given any more. She's got all the way to the shore, but you can tell by her body language she doesn't think she's got the 8-point ride that she needed. Fair play to her though. Went down swinging.
Yeah, it was a nice, good-looking wave. But yeah, it was a bit fatty, a bit sloppy wave, but it was a a good effort. Just on the buzzer beater, 10 seconds away. It's always hard to have good scores at that stage of the heat. So
yeah, you're right. She's done well, but that's the official results. Looks like Carolina Mendez is our first semi-finalist of the Estrella Galicia Caparica Surf Fest in the women's. She handles that tricky section as well. So we're going to go to a break and come right back for the next quarter-final. Teresa Bonvalo versus Aliane Vast. Another cracker right after this short commercial break.
Almada, território de muitos.
The ocean gives me so much. It makes me who I am. I sign to treat the ocean with the respect that it deserves and do my part.
Quarter-final time for our women's division of the Estrella Galicia Caparica Surf Fest. Quarter-final number 2 takes to the water Teresa Bonvalo of Portugal, Aliane Vast of France. A new name on the scene versus a name who's been around a long time, even though she's still relatively young-ish in years, Teresa.
Yeah, 21.
Around for ages. Here goes Vast with a load of speed backhand and one hit. And she'll just kind of lose pace with the wave. That nice redirect. Things focusing on that left down in there, which is sort of fairly consistent with this stage of the tide. As we're getting up towards mid. And we're going to have another look at this wave here of the French woman, Aliane Vast.
Yeah, it was a good first turn, and a good first wave just to feel the board. Let's watch the replay of Teresa Bonvalo. This was during the commercial break. It's kind of same range wave. I mean, one hit.
Remarkably similar, weren't they, really?
Yeah.
One forehand, one backhand, but other than that, similar sort of stuff. Look at that sort of rebounding turn out of a lip.
And the scores are saying that 3.67 and 3 points. So hopefully they're gonna change this score for another good one. Aliane Vast, youngest sister of Cowley. I actually don't know if she's younger.
Here goes Teresa, and she'll go down, and a missed opportunity there she'll feel. There's some points on offer there on a slightly softer wave, but a good opening section before it ran away, but nevertheless misses a chance to throw up a second number of significance. She'll just get a 1 for that. Make her way back into the lineup. 26 to go in this half hour. We're looking for a semi-finalist to take on Carolina Mendez. Teresa Bonvalo would love that, to rekindle that strong rivalry.
Yeah, definitely. But if that happens, we as Portuguese is going to have definitely, or for sure, a Portuguese on the final.
Good way to keep it positive, mate.
Yeah.
I like that. Of course, on the other side of the draw, we'll see Annette Lelor come in soon as well. She'll be up next in the quarterfinal number 3 against Ariana Ochoa. She's been outstanding. Talk about headline performances through this week, and Annette has ripped this place apart. So these quarters are pretty stacked. It's 1,000 QS for the women, 3,000 for the men. Nevertheless, they've maybe slightly smaller in points denomination on the women's side, but performances have been strong and the rivalries are as fierce as ever, and it means a lot to our surfers as we see a good-looking set stack up now. Our swell continuing to send us lots of energy, ending into the beautiful sands of Caparica. At the top of the point, here's Aileen Vast. She likes this nice-looking wave for her. Great section. She'll swing around with a pretty smooth rail turn and put herself a little bit behind for the next section. She'll just kind of wait patiently there. She'll see that one going into a bit of a hole. Maybe didn't quite get the best of that. Meanwhile, bomb below. This is nice. Ooh, she pushes it, almost loses it, and hangs on. And she'll look for a little bonus on the end. She'll just kind of tap that, and she likes it.
Yeah, I think both girls have done a little mistake on the wave, on her waves. Aileen, let's watch to the replay of Teresa Bovolo. The first one was really good, but this one, yeah, it was a bit sketchy. But although that it was a good one, and she was able to finish the wave. But looking at this first turn of Aileen Vast, I think she read, she misreading the wave, so she had to, in my opinion, she had to just have done a quick snap, pass around that section, and try to go a bit faster on the next section and try to finishing the wave. He put down a good roundhouse cutback with tons of rail, but unfortunately he lost all the speed, and she won't be able to cross that section. So yeah, bad reading in my opinion.
So nice lines coming through here at Caparica. Good shape to our A-frame peak. Back at the top of the point is Aileen Vast, who finds herself another good-looking wave here, real similar to the last one. A bit more sting in that turn. Now she'll get another maneuver that's nicely done. Hook it in the pocket. She'll get a third turn as she runs out of speed and steam to a softest section. She'll look to bring this in and try and get a little finish on the inside. She'll keep the board moving and it will go underwater. She'll finish off down on the inside. So better stuff from her.
Yeah.
Making amends from her last wave, where she maybe left a bit out there in terms of points. That was a pretty well surfed ride.
Yeah. Let's watch the replay for this wave. I mean, the damage was done in here. 2 good turns, and then another one. And just hoping that she had a finishing move.
Good news for Portuguese surf fans, a massive number in for Bombolo.
Yeah.
As we're just checking the replay of that last wave of Aileen Vast, a couple of nice redirects. It is a bit side to side. It'll be a decent number for her. It's not going to be anything to get too excited about. In contrast to the last score of Bombolo, who's got into the excellent range, dropped a massive number.
Yeah.
It's an 8.33 for Teresa, so judges paying big. Top to bottom surfing as opposed to side. Let's see what she's got here. She'll have a look, won't go. On a quite a nice looking wave. So that one just kind of steams along our bank. Plenty of time left to go in this, but already Bombolo going into the excellent range.
Although it was a bit sketchy that second turn, it was, yeah, top to bottom surf. 3 big turns, and she was rewarded with that excellent score, 8.33. She's happy, I can notice.
Teresa Bombolo will be feeling good about things. There's a spread from our panel. Half a point in it from the more generous judges, given 8.5s. And the slightly stingier among our panel of esteemed experts in all things high performance technical surfing. Give her an 8.5. Comes out as a really solid 8.33. Let's have another look.
Yeah, this turn was huge, a bit sketchy but huge, and then she was able to finishing the wave. So yeah, really nice effort. So yeah, again, the damage was done on the first 2 tricks, but yeah, she was able to finish the wave. 20 minutes to go, so anything can happen still. Aileen Vast has all the all the technique and all just we have interview ready with Joanna. Then I finish my what I was saying.
After the long wait, it must feel really good to make it this far.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. The wave are really good right now, and I'm pretty happy to win my heat. I think Garazi is a really good surfer, so in my mind was just I need to do everything, and the 8 point was really good, so I'm pretty happy.
And how are you preparing yourself into the next round?
Yeah, I think just it's good to make some routines, getting back to compete on the QS again, and now I'm into the semis, so I just want to surf, do everything in the water, and I think have fun.
That's the secret, right?
Yeah.
Good job there, and back to you guys.
Okay, good stuff. Thanks, Joanna. Well done, Carolina Mendez through to the semi. She's happy. She wants to keep that momentum rolling on through. Hoping for a repeat of that in the semis, and of course, it's a peak for the very last heat. Women's competition over the final. Don't want to get ahead of yourself, but just keeping your eyes now on a really, really strong showing. Her form looks good. Who's she going to come up against? One of these two at the moment looks a lot like her compatriot, Teresa Bombolo, who I'm surprised to hear she's 21.
Yeah.
Looks like she's been around for an eternity.
Yeah, because she started really young. She's starting to compete, and you started to notice her since she was 14 or something like that.
Into the women's CT at Cascais when she was 14.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they are the only two Portuguese that already compete on the CT. Teresa Bonvalo with a wild card here in Portugal several times, and Carolina Mendes. A few years ago, she went to the trials in Caramas, and she actually won the trials, and she was able to compete against the best surfers in the world.
Great story for our Portuguese surfers. Strong showing as ever in both departments. As we see Ariana Ochoa out of the Basque Country. Keeping out the wind there. It's quite a brisk wind, bro. It's quite fresh this morning. A noticeable drop in temperature, isn't there? And that wind's got a fresh feel to it.
It drops a lot.
Nice and clean on our wave faces for the time being. In fact, you expect while that wind continues to blow, it'll probably keep the actual sea breezes away. It's kind of regulating the temperature. When we've got glassy conditions in the morning, it gets quite sticky and hot here, then the sea breeze comes in, the nortada, but this wind probably going to keep that at bay for a while, so hopefully we'll take these kind of conditions. It's nice and groomed on the face. Ellen Vast now with a bit of time to think about that last score from Teresa Bonvalo, and just think about opportunities and how she's going to go up the judging scale. She's already got a 5 and a 3.67, but it looks like she's going to need much better stuff than that. She's going to get past Teresa Bonvalo.
It's really interesting because in the winter the east winds are really cold, and in the summer the east winds are really hot. So yeah, today we have like northeast kind of.
So right there from that beautiful shot, we're looking across the bay up to the Sintra Mountains.
Yeah.
There in the background.
Yeah, and in the front is like Oeiras, Passo d'Arcos, between Carcavelos and Lisbon, or between Estoril and Lisbon.
Beautiful part of the coast, Caparica, so well situated, close to the capital of Lisbon, and offering up beautiful stretches of sandy beaches and great waves too. Looking to find some of those great waves. There are 2 surfers in the water. The priority is with Teresa Bonvalo. No one liked the look of that, so we're seeing a few waves being let go as our surfers can be a little bit more selective. Woman-on-woman competition. Obviously, a bit more quality, very different from the 4-person heats where you can get through in seconds with lesser scores. Here goes Vast under the priority of Bonvalo. Just a bit out on the face. She gets a nice turn done. That's good. Nice and whippy and a bit safe, but nevertheless well done. And she is going to improve here. Better stuff from Aileen.
Yeah, under priority of Teresa Bonvalo, that was a really good wave. I think it's going to be the best score for her. Good snap off the top, another off the lip. And she is ripping, and I'm not calling a mistake by Teresa Bonvalot because we have plenty of time, and she wants to increase her leading with changing that 3 points. But yeah, it's always difficult if Aulin Vast gonna change the score.
Opportunity here for Teresa. She held on to that priority, and she's got herself this. She's going to come from behind a section here. She'll need a bit of speed. She finds that speed. Off the bottom, into the lip with a slash, and then it will run away. Just the one manoeuvre. And these two have been close to each other, sort of physically, quite often in this. A little paddle battle maybe going now as they duck dive together. So we'll get a little battle for priority. Let's see who's got the arm speed. But before we do that, we'll check out a replay here for Teresa.
Yeah, look at this ball. Boom! Off the top. High line, tons of speed, went to the lip, looked in the slow motion. Amazing turn by Teresa Bonvalot. It was just one turn, but I think it's gonna be a huge score for her. She's trying to change that, again, she's trying to change that backup score that is actually a 3.0, and I reckon it's gonna be a big score. Meanwhile, the last of blue, Aulin Vast, as I mentioned, it was a 5.5, so it's her best wave of the heat so far.
An improvement for her, but she's going to need more improvement still. And we got a number drop for Bonvalot. Drops a hammer on a speedy wave. Judges don't mind one turn, individual manoeuvres, or even two manoeuvres. We've seen them pay out big. 6-6-7, the score that comes in. A big total now, almost putting Aulin in a combo. 9-5, the requirement for Aulin. She doesn't think about getting it in one, but looks at two waves, 15-point total. Two high sevens, something like that would do it, assuming Bonvalot doesn't improve. So she really needs to be thinking about trying to find some quality sets. And again, she doesn't have priority. So Teresa Bonvalot can control this now. So Aulin must have lost out there in that sort of arm race, back out.
They look tired.
Teresa Bonvalot will control this with Prio and with a big lead. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. 12.5 minutes on the clock. Join us for more live action. Quarterfinal number 2 out in the water. We'll be right back.
Prepara os teus sentidos, porque vais despertar. Vais ser o primeiro a ouvir, o primeiro a olhar e a tocar. Tu vais ser o primeiro a inspirar e a provar esta nova realidade antes de todos. Agora, primeiro. 5G, vais sentir.
Can I change my answer?
And I wish we could take that one back.
Trestles is the perfect place.
Fair point, but I'm going to disagree. It's not a real power surfing wave.
I'm going to throw your power out the window. Watch the hottest debate in surfing only on worldsurfleague.com.
And we're back live at the beach. Scores remain the same. A little bit of time washes off the clock. 11 to go. Commanding performance and lead for Teresa Bonvalot, the goofy. As she, at the moment, sending kind of one-way traffic in this one. Aulin Vast with a bit to do. 9.5 the requirement in one wave. She's got time to get two. She doesn't have priority though, and you can see with the experience of Bonvalot, she'll just sort of control this now. Use that priority. She'll make Aulin kind of think about trying to find scores on lesser waves. And then anything good comes through, Teresa can afford to control that and just take the best opportunities. Let's see if she can make that count. Aulin Vast, she's looked really, really good. She's going to need to kind of draw a big, big performance in this to carry on. Because quarterfinal is a great result for her. She's thinking she waking up this morning about going all the way. Not an insurmountable task, but a pretty solid one. And I think the experience of Bonvalo, obviously we talked about the familiarity, although I gotta say, this wave isn't necessarily one with many secrets. I don't think knowing the wave necessarily offers much. I think everyone knows how to surf a beach break like this pretty well.
Yeah.
But overall, that experience that she's got, and of course the scoreboard, everything's looking pretty good for Teresa.
Yeah, but it's actually an easy way to surf, an easy wave to surf, and even to read. We had some hard times during the week with no waves. Including we had to stop several times the contest on the high tide. But I mean, after a week surfing here, you already know the place, you already know the wave. And yeah, the local knowledge is always good, but you have sometimes you have an advantage, but after a week, I mean, those guys, these girls are completely used to surf all kind of conditions, and to adapt. It's all about adapting themselves to the lineup, to the beach. So yeah, it's a good advantage, but you still have to surf.
8:40 to go. Not a lot of action to really bring you as we watch these two just sort of sit there and rotating their head around a bit, checking things out back on the beach, maybe checking some possible advice from their corners or some situations back on land, working out their lineup markers, but sort of quiet in this and really settled down to a bit of pressure on Vast to come up with the goods. Of course, not too shoddy being over here, competing on your first QS, already making the quarters. She's been impressive, as has her brother on the men's side of the draw. We will be seeing surfing again soon. He's looked good, confident again.
He's on the quarters again. In Santa Cruz, he lost only on the semis, and right now he's on the quarters again. So, how good it would be to have Aylan and Cowley winning this contest. It would be awesome, especially for their parents.
You see a few kind of straight ones come through. No takers, no real interest there. Some sort of softer ones, not with the right angle to hit our sandbar here. It's provided us with pretty good waves, really. Consider the sort of swerve had on offer. It's shapely down here. We've got those rock jetties that run along this stretch of beach. They're helping sort of shape our sandbars, give us some kind of consistent stuff. Of course, our spies down here in advance, working out the best place before we set up. Because once we set up, that's kind of where we are for the week. But I think you'd have to say a great choice with our choice of peak here at Caparica.
Yeah, definitely. The sandbank here, it's working really good. And the proof of that is even when it was really slow, the wave was there. Then the swell coming and the wave is it's even better. Yeah, we have a long right-hander that you can put some like 5 to 6 tricks. Let's watch live action with Teresa Bonvalo.
Uses her priority.
Oh.
And not to great effect. Goes down on the first turn.
Like I was saying, in the right-hander the right-hander is a bit fatty. It's a bit sloppy, but it's a bit longer, so you can use that right hand to put down like 5 or 6 tricks. And then the left-hander is really fast, really vertical, good to go to the air.
Here's the recap, mate. Bonvalo making it count with this one, belting it.
Yeah, this second turn was really good, a bit sketchy, but it was it was a really good commitment throwing the tail out. And look at this, high line, putting down some speed, and boom, for me, one of the best turns of the contest so far. Just one trick, but a huge one. This was under priority of Teresa Bonvalo, Aileen Vast, putting down some really good backhand hooks. And yeah, that was a 5.5.
Yeah, that one turn pays off 6.67. Good dividends. For a beautiful manoeuvre in the lip line from Bonvalo. who will be feeling happy coming into the last 5 minutes. She's handed priority over to Ellen Vast. But other than that, things are looking pretty good for a shot in the semis for Teresa. Vast has got a big task now. 9-5 is a really big number with under 5 minutes to go. She can get 2 waves. Just looking at the chances she said, she's only ridden 4 so far in 25 and a little bit minutes. The chance of her getting 2 bombs go close to the excellent range seems relatively slim. Let's check out Bonvalo, who says, all right, I found myself a left here. Vast isn't interested. Bonvalo under priority will go, and she'll kind of S down the line. She's looking at a section, and she'll go with a little attempt at an air, which will be incomplete. You saw her targeting that section, aiming for it.
I mean, when I've seen her putting down some good pumps and a good trimming, I thought she's going through the air. Yeah, because she already knows how to do this this trick, this frontside air reverse. Actually, on the other wave, I thought she would do that, but she was a bit conservative and intelligent because she have done a really nice turn, and right now she's using that wave as a backup score of a 6.67, and the air attempt was just 1.17.
Wave here for Vast. She's not interested. That one a bit straight. She'll have to let that go. Good choice from her. She'll wait and see if something else decent comes through. Looks like she's found something here with a bit of a corner. She's kind of put herself in position and then realizes again it's going to be a bit of a straight one. Teresa Bonvalo will make her way back out after a little throwaway air attempt from her. And we'll tick away towards that 3 minute 10 seconds mark. Still Bonvalo very much in control out here. And looking really, really good to take on Carolina Mendez, which will be a decent rivalry firing up again. I know those two have had a lot of ding-dong battles, and we like the rivalries, we like the spark.
It puts you in a good position, and the evolution is bigger and bigger when you have a good rivalry. It's like, yeah, it's good to develop your surf and to increase your skills during your here and during your hits. Yeah, I remember we talked about that already. Remember Kelly Slater and Andy Irons, Kelly saying that he only returned to the tour because of Andy, because of that rivalry. And even between the brands that they represent, Quicksilver and Billabong, in that days were huge companies, and they feed that rivalry. So yeah, it's good for the sport, it's good for them, and it's good for the show also, because everybody likes that tricky things between them. So
Vast needs to get something here. She's got priority, she needs to use it. She's got 1:45 on the clock, looking for a 9.5. She needs to find a wave and at least use that priority. She's had it for a while. It's time to go something, just try and make something happen. You never know, you might bring the score down, and then paddling back out, you just might find something. She needs to get a wave here. Not sure how many more opportunities will come through. Less than 90 on the clock. Bonvalo commanding. And looking supremely confident on what could be finals day. Still waiting for that call. Good chance it will be.
Yeah, and it seems that we're going to have a totally Portuguese semi. First semi between Carolina Mendes and Teresa Bonvalo. And right next, you're going to have Anna Tlelior against Ariane Ochoa.
All right, we're down to the last 60 seconds now. Ellen Vast hasn't really done much wrong in this one. She's not had many real good waves. She's only ridden 4 waves. Maybe could have snaffled priority after that little exchange when Teresa did that turn pretty much in her face. She's been sort of second fiddle in terms of prio, and she's been second fiddle in scores pretty much since the opening exchange. And as we go into the last 30 seconds, she just needs to try and get something here. Just see if she can ask a question. Meanwhile, Teresa Bonvalo will look to try and go this one. And
and she'll see if the priority of vast is being used, which looks like it isn't. And she'll just bring this thing now, Teresa. She'll stand up, but it won't make any difference. We'll tick down. And so Aileen Vast will be, on the one hand, disappointed with the fact that she's not given a great performance out there, but I think she will then big picture it and realise what a great result really for her, making the quarterfinals and coming up against a woman on a tear. Teresa Bonvalo throwing down excellent numbers, and it's impressive from Aileen Vast to finish off in the quarters. It's very impressive from Bonvalo to stride into the semis with a big total of 15 points. That'll wrap up quarter-final number 2, setting our first semi. We've got 2 more quarters to bring you. Stay tuned for them. They're coming at you live from Caparica right after the break.
Prepara os teus sentidos, porque vais despertar. Vais ser o primeiro a ouvir, o primeiro a olhar e a tocar. Tu vais ser o primeiro a inspirar e a provar esta nova realidade antes de todos. Agora, primeiro. 5G, vais sentir.
Can I change my answer?
And I wish we could take that one back.
Trestles is the perfect place.
Fair point, but I'm going to disagree. It's not a real power surfing wave.
I'm going to throw your power out the window. Watch the hottest debate in surfing only on worldsurfleague.com.
Welcome back to the beach as we saw that last one wrap up. And Teresa Bonvalo get a commanding performance through to the semis. We've actually gone on hold here, Diogo. So a call coming in on hold for a few hours until 1 p.m. So we're just gone 10 past 10 local time here in Lisbon.
I'm going to be honest, I'm a bit surprised because we had a really good hit. I mean, total combined score of 15 points. Opportunity for both of the girls. But, I mean, we are reaching to the high tide. Last few days, we stopped the contest in this situation.
Yeah, I think it's
with the high tide.
It's a tide thing. I think you're right. I think the worry would be that we'll get maybe one bomb or a couple of good ones in a half an hour, but maybe not opportunities for each of our surfers.
Yeah.
And I think with that in mind and the fact that the tide's still coming up actually for another 2 hours, so it's going to get deeper than this. Things might just slow right up, and as a result, not offering kind of fair choice for everybody. So we've actually gone on hold. We're going to come back on the other side of the tide at 1 p.m. local time, so an hour after the high. We'll be back with live action from Costa de Caparica. We hope you'll join us for it then. We're halfway through our quarterfinals of the women.
And you think if we return at 1 p.m., we will still have time to finish the contest today?
No. No, I think we can do.
Straight.
We could do, but
20 minutes each or 25.
Yeah, it would be tight. We'll see how that all pans out. We're going to go on hold. Thanks for tuning in. Do check back, and we'll see you for more action. We're going to, just before we go off air, we're going to hold on for an interview. Joanna is down there. She's seeking out a word in the shell of Teresa Bonvalo. We'll be doing a debrief with her coach and just kind of assessing that performance. And you've got to say, if you're in Camp Bonvalo, you'd be just giving her big ticks and saying you pretty much did everything right out there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he should be happy because she have done a really good hit. Even in the priority. In the priorities, she always had the priority when the sets came. her opponent, Aileen Vast, had caught one wave under the priority of Teresa Bovalo with it was just 5 points, so yet almost a perfect hit. So yeah, I mean, she should be happy, and her coach too. So we just waiting a little bit more for that interview of Teresa Bonvalo with Joanna. If you just join us, you can read. The contest is on hold. Next call is going to be 1 p.m. The interview is ready, so go for it, Joanna.
Yeah, I had to grab her over there. How are you feeling? Semis?
Yeah, I feel good. There was a couple really fun ones. The tide was coming up, and I kind of felt like there wasn't going to be that many chances, which was the last like 15 minutes. There wasn't that many waves, but I'm stoked and I'm happy to advance and excited for the next round.
Are you glad they put the competition on hold?
Well, I'm sure it will be better after the tide starts coming in. So I think there will be plenty of really good waves for everyone to surf and give their maximum. I'll give my maximum and I'll try to make it to the final and win.
And some time to prepare as well, right?
Yes, exactly.
Well, good luck in the next round. We'll see you there.
Thanks, Joanna. Great job, Teresa Bonvalo. That'll wrap things up for this morning. We're back at 1 p.m. Join us online for the rest of the women's quarter-final and a big afternoon of competition from Costa de Caparica. We'll see you then.
It's hard to keep track of you.